Hello, everyone, and welcome to the spring break capital of the world, that of course being Daytona Beach, Florida, for what is the third in a trio of races coming from the world's most famous racetrack, Daytona International Speedway, after the Daytona Backstretch Race, the Echo Energy Clash at the Beach, and the Daytona 500, the AWSCO is heading to the Daytona Road Course, 3.57 miles, 88 laps. It's the Circle K Firecracker 500 from, as previously mentioned, the Daytona Road Course. But first, we are here in the FanDuel pre-race studio. It's me, Eddie Debs, joined alongside Ellie. This race here for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. Pretty big race, I would say, at least in terms of starting, after we had the All-Star race not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back, and the All Star race was really nice. That was something. That was a race, but here we are at the Daytona Road Course, and we have an interesting inside and outside. We have Carly Byrne in row one, Yappy Maux in row two on the outside. I think we're in for an interesting race here. What do you think?
Oh, no, absolutely. This certainly going to be an interesting one. I'm interested to see how things will play out. Again, we've seen Carly Byrne has had a good couple of races, at least a good couple of qualifying times these past couple of races, just hasn't been able to put together the race she needs to get the win that will lock her into the playoff. And again, on the outside of her, Haley Zukovic, certainly one of the best drivers so far this season.
Yeah,
The
and
big thing, of course, when you look at the schedule, is that this is another road course. We've had quite a lot. You look at the past 5 points paying races in the Windows Cup Series. 4 of them were road courses. You then look ahead, and there are a couple more road courses on the docket. We are sort of in road course land, barring the All-Star race, which means a lot of these drivers, I think they have the road course experience. Do you think we're going to see some of that experience pay off out of these drivers, given how many they've run, or do you think the All-Star race may have gotten a couple of these drivers a little bit nervous? What do you think, Ellie?
no, I think given this is to my knowledge, this is the last road course for a good while here, and the rest of the tracks will be long runs, plate tracks, ovals. It's gonna have a totally different dynamic. But given this is the last road course, I think a lot of our road course merchants in the Cup Series are gonna be locking in for this race here, trying to make a name for themselves, given it's the last road course for a good while at least.
Certainly be at the last road course up until
Like 11
really
races from
Watkins.
now.
It is, yeah, it's going to be Watkins Glen, which is the last race of the first round of the playoffs. So it is going to be a while for these drivers. So definitely see some of those road course ringers. I was going to say up towards the front, and then you look at the top 10, and well, you see Yappy Maux in there, outside row 2. Kelly Yataka's done well in some of these. She's inside row 4. The name I'm specifically looking for, Eva Jorsaraj, actually outside row 8. But to remind some people, going back to the results of Sonoma, you've had Rini Tosima win that race. It was a bit of a really an insane one. You see, we had only a couple of cars running by the end of it, I believe. Yeah, only 11 cars on the lead lap for that one. A lot less than the Mexico race, which was won by Bria Delade. But you see Delade with 3 wins. She's nowhere near the front to start this race. And Irina Tosima up towards the front. I think the big question is for this race, Ellie, do you think with Carly Byrne starting up front, you have her, Yaffy Malixon's done pretty well, but she doesn't have a win yet. Do you think tonight will we see a new winner, or do you think we're going to have maybe, I don't know, another person keep someone from locking themselves into the playoffs and keeping the only 5 spots left for getting in on points into the AWSCO Windows Cup Series playoff?
Well, I think our road course merchants in the Cup Series are definitely going to try and perform here as best as possible. I think Yappy Malixon might be one of them. I find it a little interesting that Sky and Jetta 16 car, she's at row 17 on the outside. She's all the way down there. Rachel Cole, she's in row 10 on the inside. Rachel Cole is a driver I've noticed has been pretty decent. Row 10's not horrible for her. I think she can move from the middle field all the way up to the upper half. I think Bryad's a lot in row 10 next to her on the outside is it's not terrible for her either. I think she can cook something up. I think she'll have a way to get through all of that traffic and make it from the midfield, maybe get somewhere in like the top 5, top 10.
I appreciate the mention of Rachel Cole. Worth pointing out, Cole was third at Sonoma, had some difficulty in the past couple races. I think was her first top 10 after just a long stint without one for that car. It had been 7 races that she had gotten a top 10, but she got one at Sonoma. So it's definitely someone who's improving, definitely someone who can benefit from just having that experience. It's really about having that experience, especially at this road course. When you look at drivers, I guess that have done well at Daytona, I know it's not really, you can't really call it a crossover, but you also have Haley Zukovic, who won the Daytona 500, led 77 laps there. I believe Zukovic has had a good amount of wins, or at least good runs around this track. Would it be safe to say that even though this is a road course very different from the super speedway or even the short track that they ran very early in the season, is Haley Zukovic, assuming she has another great run here, which realistically she could starting from that second position,
right?
Do you think to look out for someone who has won on, granted, one track, but one track 3 different ways, a short track, a super speedway, and a road course, doing well on all 3? Does that make her one of the bigger threats in the playoffs, given that she's locked in, or would you just assume that it's more just a one-track sort of extraordinaire for her, albeit given that she has, held her own, I guess, in a lot of other ways throughout the season?
Well, she's in our FanDuel Fast 10 for a reason on this track, so I think she's definitely somebody to look out for. I mean, she's second. I think even though she seems a little better on the super speedways, I think a road course like this, I don't think it'll matter. I think she might be somebody to definitely look out for, especially early on in the race. If she gets a good run and stays ahead of everybody, there could be a good 30, 40 laps where she's just leading. It really all depends on who gets a good start.
I mean, Atlantic Racing, you talk about a team that has shown pretty much excellence here. Rariston, Jukovic, and Nihale, all currently, 2 of them locked into the playoffs. Nihale, 114 points of the starting position. The only person they're missing in that, Mika Harina, is only 14 points back. They've been a pretty good team, but switching around in Atlantic Racing, Joselina Nihale, 114 points on the cut line. She's 30 points ahead right now, 31 technically, of the highest starting winner, which is Arlen Hanstrom, at least most points earned by a race winner, which is Arlen Hanstrom. But Nihale has not gotten the win she needs to lock herself in. She's in the Fast 10 here. Do you think that this is going to run through her mind, sort of in making her aggressive at this racetrack, or do you think she's maybe going to hold off, just try and get some points, and possibly really look for another track where she thinks she can, push it?
Well, the thing here is if she gets a really good run, she can go up in the points. I think she's going to want to defend her points. She's up by 30 something points, right? So, sure, that's a one race about lead, but I think she can defend that, and I think anybody who's going to try and take that away from her, they're going to have a hard time doing that. I think she's going to defend it.
Yep, and seeing it looks like we're having cameras set to go, we're going to do our FanDuel pre-race picks. Ellie, you're the guest host here technically. You want to start us off? We have 88 laps to go, but from the start of things, who do you think is going to be pulling some donuts, I guess, in the Daytona curve at the end of this race?
Honestly, haven't seen anybody hit the track yet, so I'm not sure. But if I would be going based off of qualifying, be Malixon. I think it could be her.
Another driver up there in the points, but without a win.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be tempted to go Malixon as well, given Red Racing has locked in at least one of their drivers, but is currently watching as Eddie Stoneman sort of starts to fall out of contention. They're definitely going to be looking for a win there, but I have a feeling that some of these drivers, they're really not going to want to have to deal with more playoff drivers than needed. So there might be a couple drivers maybe going for a second win here, and when I look at drivers going for a second win, I'm realistically going to look at Haley Zukovic starting front row. I think that Atlantic racing car can get the jump on Carly Byrne. I mean, in the end, yeah, it's going to be a Evans Ross Racing versus Atlantic Racing at the front, but I think Zukovic can get the jump on Byrne, get around her, and I think it'll be smooth sailing from there. Atlantic Racing, definitely a team that dominates races. Maybe this is going to be the race where they have a car dominate and at least cross the finish line first. Doesn't happen in a while, though. We'll see if it happens today. That's all from us here at the FanDuel pre-race studio. We'll be back for the mid-race studio, and I'm already hoping that doesn't end up having the classic caution in the middle of it that we have to inevitably talk about, because my voice already hurts. But with that, we are going to send it to the commentator's booth, where Echo and Rasha are prepared to take us through the first 44 or so laps of this race. Echo and Rasha, you got us?
I sure do. I've got you loud and clear, Eddie, and thank you so much for leading us in. As we have just gotten here from Pensacola, just got here about 25 minutes ago. You know, pretty short flight over here from Pensacola, but we're here for the Circle K Firecracker 500 from Daytona Road Course, 88 laps, 500 kilometers, 100 kilometers extra than our standard road course races, because this is a special race. This is Daytona, and this is the Firecracker 500 for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. I'm joined in the booth alongside with Rasha, road course expert. You join me for Road America as well. What do you think about this? How do you feel about this race? What are you expecting?
Well, Echo, I'm personally a big fan of the Daytona Road Course. It's always one of the best tracks to drive on, especially, of course, a big fan of endurance. For any fan of endurance racing will know the Rolex 24, one of the biggest events in all of endurance racing that takes place in this circuit. Not at the exact same layout as you'll see here. We're using the stock car layout with the front stretch chicane. But otherwise, the rest of the track is exactly the same as what those endurance cars get up to, and that's effectively a lot of what Daytona road course racing at Daytona International Speedway is. It's all about managing your way through the entire race. Of course, this isn't going to be a 24-hour race. It's only 500 kilometers, which is fairly long by AWSCO standards, but which is still fairly long by AWSCO standards. So effective race management and making sure you pace yourself really well is going to be a vital part of making sure that you either stay up front or make progress towards the front as the race goes on. Lots of places to overtake, but as is often the case with road course racing, the best places to overtake are also often the best places to crash. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the drivers, and I think especially keep an eye out on them on the start from turns 1 to 3, especially in that kink on the infield into turn 2. That's going to be, I think, where the big pinch point is for these drivers.
Yeah, that exit of turn 1 into turn 2 through the little kink there is really, really tough for these drivers to get through. All right, let's go through your starting grid. In row 1, it is Carly Byrne and Halis Jukovic who head up the field. Row 2, Mika Harina and Yappy Malixon. You got Jukovic, who won the Daytona 500 on the oval earlier in this year on that front row. Row 3, our most recent winner of both the All-Star race and the last points race at Sonoma, Arena Tosuma, is alongside Lowry Schliesenbach. Row 4, the 92, Michele Yatica, and points leader Jocelyn Nihale. Row 5 is the 19 of Arlen Handstrom, winner back at Bathurst, and the 22 of Andrea Davison. Row 6 is Marisha Webelst and Audie Stoneman. Row 7, the 1 of Felicia Vancy and the 72, Janet Parkings. Row 8 is the 46 of Yenfi Yanaga and the 98 of Ava Jarsaraj, who's won twice on the road courses at Willow Springs and Mosport. Row 9, Montreal winner Giami McJasmine alongside the 39 of Lily Talberson. In row 10 is the 52, Rachel Cole, and another 2-time road course winner, Brietta Laud, who won at Road America and at Mexico City. Row 11, the 27, Nietzsche Garnston, and the 26 of Sophie Chantasse, who won here on the short track earlier in the season. Row 12 is the 96 of Angeli Rugatino and the 42 Mika Gennaro. Row 13, the 82 Pace Lanieri and the 60 of Amory-Wesco. Row 14, the 71 Abby Little and the 13 of Yania Waterton. Row 15 is the 91 of Alicia Byrne and the 18 of Periala Contes. Row 16, the 3 of Mimi Verino and the 17 of Dira Reister. Row 17 is the 20 of DeGabi Abriella and the 16 of Skyan Jetta. Row 18, the 15 Teresa Toller and the 31 of Tila Happeman. Row 19, the 38 of Youngwei Ku and the 32 of Sinley Rarinston. And in row 20, the 21 of Amani Wandayo and the 2 of Isa Ijavida. All right, well, 88 laps. This is a long race. It's longer than all the other road course races aside from Bathurst. How do you think that's going to affect these drivers in this race, and how do you think that, and how, most importantly here, what is the biggest key to winning a race this long?
Yeah, I mean, Bathurst was a strategy slog. I would expect much of the same is going to be relevant for this track, and especially for road courses. The key is to have consistent pace throughout. On road courses, you have so many places where you can gain and lose time in every turn, and well, when you have something like that, the important thing is over the long run, it's to be as consistent as possible and not to lose, just to maintain a steady rhythm of good lap times over and over again. Combine that with a good pit strategy and good execution on pit road, and that's how you get yourself up front on these kinds of tracks. Of course, if you're already starting up front, that's going to be that extra bit of an advantage for them. So look out for these drivers that are starting in the top 10 or so to do all they can to stay up front.
Now, this track is one that has a lot of passing opportunities because it's so high speed, but the corners are really tight and require a lot of braking. This is a track that really tests the ability of the car, and it's going to test the ability of the equipment as well. You might see a lot of mechanical issues, a lot of brake issues in this one, even with these cars which have really good, really good braking systems. Pace car is off. We are going to go green from the Daytona Road Course here. Here we go. Carly Byrne leads them to the green, and we're racing in Daytona.
It's like the 34 is already on the rear bumper, 3 wide into turn 1. Here we go.
Harina goes down deep into 1. Yukovic is a little wide.
Watch out, folks.
Burns checks up a little bit and lets the 34 through, and Mika Harina takes the lead here, but Irinia Tosima is already up to second.
Yeah, rather surprisingly, neither of the cars starting on the front row have taken the lead. They're down to 3rd and 4th now.
Yukovic is further back.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
all the way
even
back.
further back. Yes.
I don't even know where she ended up.
That's somewhere at the back end of the top 10, I think. Tosima. So.
Oh, Burns in the grass. So is Yanaga, so is Rugatino further back. And Byrne and Yukovic, neither of them got very good starts.
Yeah, dreadful start for the front row here. Very good for the inside of rows 2 and 3, though. Those are the drivers leading up front right now.
And Irinia Tosima, who won at Sonoma last week.
Oh,
And the
problems
42, Gennaro, already with problems. Barely made it. Yeah, she stopped on the track. So that's already going to be our first caution flag of the day on lap number 1, as the 42 made it not even into turn 1 before the engine went.
looks like we'll get a quick reroll of the field here. Good work by Harina to take the lead, and for the 9 and 62, it's another chance to at least make up some extra ground as they find themselves bottled up into the upper midfield now. But real unfortunate for the 42 of Mika Gennaro, who's had a dreadful season so far, and well, I think the engine blowing up on the very start of the race might be the crown on top of this season so far.
Yeah, that's pretty unlucky for Gennaro, and she stopped on the track. They had to tow her off, so that will bring out our first caution of the day here from Daytona. This is a very long track, so the caution's again very short here. Only 2-lap cautions, but because this track is so long, the cautions still feel like they take a long time. Well, we'll get a very quick restart. See where it blows up. Oh, it blows up right as she upshifts. Right before turn 1. She didn't even make it to turn... The engine didn't even make it to turn 1. Terribly unfortunate for Gennaro.
And well, let's take a look at that top 10 right now. As, yeah, we've mentioned the 34 and 93. The 23 of Yappy Mountains also made up some ground. That was one of the studio host pre-race picks. Then behind them you have the 19 and 92, who both started in the top 10. Wood and 99. Decent start from Felicia Vance. He started on the inside of row 7, 13th place, up to 6th already. So that's 7 positions made up in a very short time frame.
Yeah, just 1 lap.
And that's, I believe, the case for the 52 as well. Rachel Cole's up there.
Yeah, Rachel
made 10
Cole.
spots up. She started 19th.
She started 19th and she's up to 10th, so she's already gained 9 spots since the start of this race.
Yeah, it looks like starting on the inside of the track was a real boon to some of these drivers.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense, because that puts you in a pretty decent spot into turn 1, and as long as you don't get crowded out of turn 2, you should be looking pretty decent there.
Ellie, any word on what happened to Gennaro?
Yeah, it looks like that engine just completely failed. Something was just really wrong with it to the point where I don't think she's gonna get back on track.
Wonder if maybe she downshifted at high revs. Maybe because they've fitted these cars with H pattern shifters as opposed to how in the Cup Series they have sequentials. So maybe she just missed a shift and it really messed with everything. Our front row of Byrne and Yukovic has dropped back to 8th and 9th at the start of this race.
Yeah. Obviously Yukovic was kind of bottled up on that outside line. Getting sent 3 wide by Harina definitely didn't help. But yeah, you saw the 9 of Carly Byrne run out wide, I think, on the International Horseshoe. That really lost her quite a few spots.
Yeah.
And that's the one of the other important points to note about this track is that it's quite narrow throughout. I mean, there's obviously the wall in turn 2 that makes things more complex there, but there's a lot of places where you can get shoved out of the way in the infield. And given how old this track is, obviously it's not exactly designed for the most 3-4 wide racing at the on the road courses. It can be deceptive at times. That's the way I'd put it.
So Harina, the leader after 2 laps here. She'll lead at least 3 laps. We'll see if we get the signal. We should get the signal to go back green this time from the pace car. If they give them the signal coming off of the right here. So in the middle of this short chute off the West Horseshoe. So we are going to be going back to the green flag this next lap. 42 has retired from the race, and the 91 of Alicia Byrne has a fair bit of
Not
damage.
front end either. There's a collision under yellow here.
There might have been.
Oh. What?
Oh.
Oh.
There in fact was a collision on pit road. The 15 ran into the 91, and I guess that just blew the 91's engine. Okay. I've never seen that before.
Excellent start to proceedings here at Daytona.
I've never seen that before, but sure, I guess. So Harina, Tosima, Malikson, Hanstrom, and Yatica will lead them to the green flag. The pace car will lead them through the Le Mans chicane. Which they have put in, they have put in a little bit of, you know, they paved this area over, but they've put in a little bit of extra paint there and a little bit of rough compound to make it so that if you go drive through the area where that grass used to be, then it's going to be as rough as grass normally would be.
Yeah, think of it like the runoffs that they have at Paul Ricard. It works very similarly to that. It'll definitely slow you down, but yeah, it's there to be, you know, it's there for safety purposes, effectively.
Yeah. And then they'll roll through the front stretch chicane, which is specific to these cars. These are the only cars that actually use that front stretch chicane here at Daytona. All right, pace cars off. Harina, Tosima, Malikson, lead them to the green. Here we go.
93 and 19 fanning out already, looking to use the outside line. You can you can do that on these restarts, of course.
Here comes Malikson. Oh, the 16's blowing up.
That's another Southwest car blowing up within 5 laps of the race. We got 2 of them going off.
Malikson's going to drive right through. She goes from 3rd to 1st.
And
right
Yataka
there.
Follows her into 2nd place. Great restart. And look at Carly Byrne making up some ground.
The 9 car is back up here. Yappy Malikson has taken the lead.
Yataka going through in 2nd, trying to defend a little bit from Harina. It looks like Tosama and Vancy are side by side. They're going to be side by side out of the West Horseshoe. I think that's the 8 of Schliesenbach running out wide. Yes.
Yep, 8 cars running wide there. How about Carly Burns made it back to 4th? Yappy Malikson in the 23 car, though, right there.
Yeah, right there with him. Looks like we got yet another bit of a restart chicanery. Looks like we've been 2 for 2 on the front running drivers, not making it out of the restarts in the front as they go through the Le Mans chicane there.
Ellie, you got any word on Anjetta's car?
Yeah, it looks like Anjetta's car, the damage was fatal enough to retire it, and it affected the piston, so yeah, it looks like she's gonna have to get off the track for today.
34 hounding the 92 now, maybe try to use the bumper a little bit there on entry, but just a light tap for now.
Yappy Malikson comes around to the line, and we will finish this lap under green.
Yeah, 16 was able to bring it into pit road, so we won't have another caution, thankfully. What?
91's still on pit road, but
yeah. There's a whole gaggle of cars following the 92 as the 93 and 1 both run wide, and that'll open the door for Jukovic to gain an extra spot. Back here, that's Jocelina Nihale and Ava Yarsaraj fighting just outside the top 10. I believe this is around 15th or so.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm double checking on where these cars started. I believe they started around this area. I know the 98 definitely did. The 64.
I think the 64 started a little further up, so she's dropped back.
Yeah, she's dropped back, but she was in the top 10.
There's a move for third. There's Byrne trying to get by Harina into oval 1 and 2.
Yep, side by side. It's gonna be a nice drag race through NASCAR 1 and 2 here.
They're going to be side by side down through oval 1 and 2 and into the Le Mans chicane.
And this is where you want to have the utmost confidence in your brakes. Byrne's trying to send it side by side, but there's not going to be much room there.
Didn't have the room.
That's going to drag Tosama in.
Tosama looked to the outside, but she couldn't get it. 34 is going to get a big run on the 92 now. Coming into the front stretch chicane. Really big run, actually. 34 gets underneath. She checked up, though. 23 checked up quite a bit, though.
Lots of sliding! These guys are fighting the edge of grip here, and that's going to let Harina in with a really good shot at taking second into 1 and 2.
Looks to the outside, though.
See if that works. If you can maintain the momentum out of 2, out
93
of 1.
is going to go to the inside here.
Not quite. 92 will keep. 99 runs well wide.
Vebelst very wide.
Drifting through the grass there.
Yeah, the exit of turns 2 there, turns 2 and 3 is really troublesome. That's where it takes a lot to get through. And the 13 of Waterton is slow up there as well.
Slow, yeah. In the grass somewhere. What happened to her?
She's in the grass. She's trying to get back going.
Looks like she just may have been punted out of the way by someone.
I think she might have been moved out of the. I think she might have. There might have been an incident or something.
Out of the way. Yeah, it was one of these cars here. Oh, the 39.
39 of the 18.
You got 3 spinners basically there.
Garnston spun.
Watch the.
And the 13 just. 13 spun into the
grass.
Well into the grass. Nobody stopped and nobody towed, so
yeah, like
we stay green.
Not much harm done. Just a fair bit of spitting for a lot of cars there. 52 of Rachel Cole here. This is, I'm not sure what this is, but I think
this is for 11th.
Yeah, just outside the top 10.
Second is still, this fight for second is still pretty close. The 92 trying to hold the 34 and 93 behind her. 23, Malikson still currently has the fastest lap, but I think we've only really run 1 lap.
Here comes Harina looking around, trying on the inside of the exit of NASCAR 4. They all head into the chicane. Gatka again sliding out of on exit.
I think if you're Harina, you want to try to get to the inside. Remember that double yellow line is not out of bounds at the road course, and here goes Harina to the inside.
What she's going to do here, finding the inside, will Tosama follow?
I believe she will.
She will.
Gataka's going to try to fight. No. She can't do it.
Let them both through. Might have slowed down a bit too much, because that's going to let the 9 almost through here.
Vebel's through the grass again.
Vebel's having a real mess of a day there, at least on the exit of 1. It's Byrne and Carly Byrne and Yatka side by side. I think Byrne is gonna have enough to take what I believe will be 4th spot there.
Debrizia Tolerance come down pit road to fix some damage, it looks like.
Yeah, that'll be from the pit lane collision between her and the 91 of
Alicia Byrne, the other Byrne, who's now out of the race. 92 keeps slipping.
Slipping down the quarter, yeah.
She's gotten passed by Carly Byrne now, and now she's got Jukovic pressing.
Yeah, 92 under a lot of pressure here. Already lost 2 spots this lap. Already lost 3, I should say.
She's lost 3, yeah. And she could lose a 4th one if Jukovic gets a good enough run, although I don't think Jukovic is going to go for it into the chicane.
Not quite. I think she'll either be looking in the chicane, in the final chicane, I should say, or into 1 next time around.
There's a good battle. There's Vancy and Yanaga fighting. I believe that's for 10th, actually. Here comes Audie Stoneman. Look at the 10 car. She's fighting with Jukovic now for position. Oh, contact.
Ooh, careful. 10 got way loosed.
10 almost went into the pit lane because of that. 62 trying to get around to the outside of the 92.
Lots of momentum. We'll see if she can maintain that. The 92 has the preferred line into 1 here, though. And she's going to move up and close the door on her.
And Handstrom's
That's
going to
gonna
go
let
by
Handstrom
both
through,
of them.
yeah.
The 19, great drive through. Going to get by both of those cars.
Alton doing well to just maintain the lead right now. Clean 1.5 seconds ahead of the 34 of Mika Harina.
Carly Byrne's been pretty good on the road courses this year. She finished 4th at Road America. Was it 4th? She finished really good at Road America, I remember.
Yeah, she was running up high. She was running up high in Road America. I do remember this.
Oh, it's 5th. She finished 5th at Road America.
Ooh, real messy on the outside there on the horseshoe. Lots of cars going off in the not the horseshoe, but this
The West Horseshoe.
The West Horseshoe, the exit of the West Horseshoe.
There were 3 wide at one spot back here.
I think so, yeah. Well, at least 3 cars that were heading off to the grass there.
Steve Vebbel's fighting with Yanaga. Ava Jarsaraj, one of our road course ringers, as we've affectionately started calling them.
Yeah,
road course merchants, I guess.
Yeah, the Mason Parker cars are always great at these road courses. And the 98 and 19 are especially the ones to watch on these tracks, I think.
Yappy Malikson has been really good at these road courses too, and she's showing it again. She's leading the way here from Daytona.
Yep, Malikson still without a win, but sitting 2nd in points, well clear of the playoff battle right now, but a win would be good insurance for her, and she's well on her way to getting that right now. The pace is definitely there, but there's a long way to go until the end of this race.
She's got 3 top 10s at road courses all this year so far. If Javid and Talberson came down pit road, I imagine that's also...
Yeah, 39 probably came in for tires and a bit of damage repair.
Yeah.
And the 2 has already been running without a hood for a while now.
34 is starting to close in on the 23. She gained about a second that last lap. Keep in mind, this is one of those tracks where it's not that out of the ordinary to see gains of about a second because of how large this track is. This track is extremely big. 3.57 miles, I believe.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd longest road course on the schedule.
Obviously, the lap times are a little bit reduced by the fact that most of that distance is covered over an oval super speedway. But
yeah.
Regardless, it's still a very long lap, just under 2 minutes, I believe.
It's about a minute 40. It's about a minute 50.
Minute 50, yeah. Once tire wears put into effect, so that's about the lap average we'd be looking for over the long run, I think. 99 and 64 now.
Yeah.
46,
That's for the 10th spot.
9th, yeah.
46 got by. Audie Stoneman's moved up to 7th. Or 6th, I think, actually.
But yeah, you mentioned Malikson getting those top 10s on the road courses. Those are the last 3 road courses that we've run in this series. 5th at Sonoma, 8th at Mosport, and 5th as well in
Montreal.
So,
and she also had a 14th place at Mexico City.
Yeah.
And she's run well at these road courses. Even in the races she hasn't finished well in, she's still run well. She led laps at Bathurst. She ran pretty solidly at Road America, but she got involved in an accident.
Yeah, now down to 2.5 tenths, just a quarter of a second. The 34 is looking around trying to make a move, but the 23 is going to do well just to hold the middle there, prevent the 34 from getting to the inside or trying to run on the outside. Meanwhile, side by side, that's Handstrom and Byrne.
Back here for 4th.
Carly Byrne will give way for the 19 there. Meanwhile, Yataga running well.
Yataga goes wide. Here comes Yanaga. Trying to get
I
around.
guess that's better than almost coming to a complete stop, but not much better really.
Well, you'll take what you can get. We got a couple cars coming in. That's Koo and Happeman.
What's going on? Son?
Looks like Rugatino's out of the race.
Oh, we do have we have something. Something has happened.
She made it back to the pits.
Made it back to the pits, but there it is. There's a chicane moment.
Oh, it's the 72 of Janet Parkins.
We'll hop into the
she
chicane.
just jumped it.
Oh, and that's what happened to those cars. Lots of cars spinning out. 4 cars sliding out. 5 cars. 6 cars sliding out of out of the chicane.
7. 21
cars.
also did it as well.
And that's something, if anyone here remembers the NASCAR Echo Energy Series, you will remember that was a common occurrence at the inaugural race here at the Daytona Road Course. That's something to look out for. If there's chaos on the front stretch chicane, things get rather dicey, with a lot of cars going sideways. That seems to have occurred once again here.
I think the panic lines are a little messed up.
Yeah, I think they're just probably outright broken, to be fair.
But nobody came to a complete stop, so.
Yep, we're still heading.
So we continue under green here.
Yeah, that would be why those cars came in. 38 taking a really long time on that stop. Must be looking at something underneath the car.
They'll send her back out now. Everyone who's on the track is still on the lead lap, and that just shows, this 38 just took a 60-second stop, and she's probably going to stay on the lead lap
Yeah,
here.
just about. Should be okay.
And the 34 is all over the back bumper of the 23 now, so Harina definitely is faster.
Yeah, definitely wants to make a move now.
But not going to do it, not quite yet. 10 laps completed here from Daytona, so we're about an eighth of the way through this race. Ooh, 34 gets loose.
Ooh, just got a bit aggressive on exit there. That's going to undo all of her work. The 38's just about on the lead lap. Barely.
She's still in the lead lap. Not by much, but she's still in the lead lap.
Yeah.
I think the 38 did take she took right side tires. This is a track that, tire wear also is pretty key at. This is one of those road courses where the tire wear is really, really important. Schliesenbach, Dorino's come in. I think those are a couple cars that slid.
Yeah, I think the 8 slid off of the 72.
I know the 3 definitely did.
3 was part of that. Yeah, the 1 running well wide. They're all four tires off of the racing surface.
Malikson's going to get underneath Koo here.
Not clear on the chicane, and that's going to cost her quite a bit of ground.
She'll get clear here, though, through on the exit.
Yep, there we go. 34 still has to get around, of course.
Yeah, this will definitely help Malikson, and now having a lap car between her and Harina. And Harina's not going to catch the 38 at a spot that's very easy to pass lap cars in.
Not here, at least.
This chicane is a no passing zone, pretty much. You really should not be trying to make passes here.
As we saw approximately 1 lap earlier.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to stop her from going side by side around here.
That's not going to stop this. That's not going to stop Vebels from going side by
I
side.
don't think much stops Vebels, to be honest.
That's a good point. And how about Tozuma? She's dragged herself into this mix too. She's right here with the 34 now.
Yeah, the winning streak is still up for grabs here. 93 staying with the leaders.
Tozuma looking to become the second driver with
wide again.
Tozuma looking to become the second driver this year to take 3 wins.
The other one being, I believe, the 55 of Bria Delade.
Yeah, Bria Delade.
With 2 wins on road courses there herself.
Yeah. Tozuma could make that 2 wins on road courses for her. But right now, Yappy Malikson leads the way. The Australian driver. Got a ton of experience at these kind of tracks, and she is showing that right now.
Looking at the midfield here. That's the 98 of Yarsraj fighting the 52 of Rachel Cole. These guys have kind of been stuck in this kind of 12th to 15th range pretty much the whole way. It's definitely getting a little bit difficult to pass now. Now that we've gotten a little bit of tire wear in, and these cars are starting to build gaps on each other.
These two still going side by side through the chicane. And Koo still kind of struggling a little bit, but Harina can't make the move to get by her.
Not yet, anyways. We'll see if she looks to the inside now. Nope, she's looking to the outside.
She looks to the outside, and I'm not sure that I don't think that's a great move.
Yeah, considering Ku has just changed the right side tires here. 34 is gonna have to back out.
She does back out, but the 93 also
93
backs
had to
out.
back out. Yeah, she had to back out as well to avoid running into the 34.
Yukovic.
This is on the edge of the top 10 right here.
Yeah, this is for
9th.
9th. Yukovic and Yatika fighting here.
Ooh.
Nihil goes a little wide.
That'll let Cole in through for 11th. There's Bria Delard.
It'll let Cole in through for 11th, but Nihil might get that right back.
Yeah, Nihil full and trying, but the 52 just cleared there off of the out of the dog leg. So, yeah, they go.
And how about Bria DeLodge? She's managed to drive her way up through here.
Yeah, there's our 3-time race winner, moving up in the top 15 there. Where did she start? She started all the way up in 20th.
20th.
So, yeah, decent running for her. Made up a few spots already. Definitely gonna start looking for more spots once we get to a pit cycle. That's been the 55's expertise, I think, on these road courses. They've been so good.
Well, now she's the only Dark Horse racing car left in the race. Oh, the
Ooh,
34
watch out!
has decided that the 38
Oh, Ku's hit the wall hard.
Ku is in the wall, off the track, so that's not going to be a caution.
And Arena seems to have completely lost patience there.
Oh, Harina's very slow.
With a bit of yeah.
And that's let Tosima get second. And I think Harina might have gotten a penalty for cutting the chicane.
Yeah, either that or was just super, or obvious, or might have just been super loose and not trying to spin up on the banking there.
Well, that's given Malikson a 3-second lead now.
Yeah, and that's let Tosima through for second. Harlan Handstrom doing well right now. Moved up all the way to 4th, and with that little incident there has kind of dropped within range of second here.
Carly Burns still sitting 5th. Janiga, Stoneman, Vebelst. Still looking fairly solid. But Yappy Malikson, well out there.
Yeah, Malikson doing out well there just to keep herself clear of mistakes. That's one of the things we were mentioning right before the start of the race, is that you just gotta make sure you don't do anything silly. Just keep yourself working with, consistently good lap times, and that's what the 23 has done so far. Kept her ahead of everyone.
Yeah, she managed to get, she got that. She had a really good start to the race, and then she had a really good restart. And that's what's gotten her out front. And I'm not sure if she has particularly the fastest car right now, as the Javida is very slow. That 2 car is very slow, but for Malikson, this is kind of that thing where she's maybe she wasn't fast, but maybe she's not faster than some of these other cars, but she's definitely been the most consistent over this last run.
34's definitely gathered up her speed back, and now she's all over the inside of Arena Tosima into turn 1 here.
She'll take the spot here.
Yeah, easily cleared. And there she goes. She's through now on the exit of 2.
Tosima did a good job to not lose that much time.
Javida's running through the grass there. Looks like does she have an issue? She's running a bit slow.
A lot of cars kind of trying to outcycle this pit strategy just because this is such a long race that pit strategy.
Yeah, looks like the 2's going to limp it. Oh!
93 wide.
Why, that's going to let Handstrom
Handstrom's going to take that spot. Now the 19's up to 3rd. Ellie, you got word on what's up with the Javida?
Yeah, it looks like her tire went down, probably due to excessive wear, I'm gonna assume. So, yeah, I think that's her issue.
Well, we'll figure it out once she gets to pit road. Harina's up to 2nd. Hanstrom third. Tosum is still kind of trying to pressure that 19 for that spot. Byrne fifth. There's Yanaga, Stoneman, Marisha Vebelston eighth. So 3 of the 4 Evans Ross racing cars are here in the top 10 positions. And we got a battle for third here. There's Tosuma trying to take the spot back from Hanstrom.
Looks like these cars have been running second and third for a while now. Whoa, 93. She's just running over the curbs a little bit there. Careful with that.
2 cars gonna get back out.
But it looks like the cars at second and third do have the pace to stay at least stay in those positions or maybe even challenge the leader. But they've just been committing more mistakes than the 23 has.
Yeah. Alexson's been very solid, very smooth.
Yep, just maintaining a good pace throughout, and that's what's gonna win you these races.
Well, this is a track that lends itself to long runs. The long runs are something that are, there's a lot of long runs that happen here at this track, so...
Yeah, it's difficult to cause a caution at this track, given how much runoff there is, really, so... You don't really expect to see many at this track at any given point.
I mean, it's very possible that the only caution of this race could end up being that one caution we saw on lap number 1, although I'm not sure that will be the case.
Let's watch Malixon here tackle NASCAR 1 and 2. See the top 4 now spread out a little bit.
Now they're still spread out a bit. I think Harina's definitely faster than the 23, but she just hasn't been able to stay as consistent as that 23.
Yeah, I'd say that's the case as well. If the 34 can string together a good set of laps, I don't think running into the 38 really hurt her too much. Definitely just took off her balance a little bit there in the immediate aftermath, but otherwise has been running pretty good laps. I'd say comparable to the 23, I think oh no, just took a bit of a load. I thought they were coming into pit.
That time she gained about 3/10.
Yeah.
It's not a huge game, but it's enough to show up. So we got absolute whatever's going on back here.
These guys have been fighting each other for basically the entire run right now. Bria Delod looking to make up a few more spots here, but she's stuck on that outside. Plus the 2 of Isla Javira's right there with her. So this is a bit of a messy situation here. Moving back up front now. Moving back to the rear now, to the edge of the top 10 again. 92 and 64. This is the fight for 10th.
Yeah, this is for a spot in the top 10. Nihil just clips the edge of the grass there, so that slowed her down a bit. Kind of all over the place back here. Andrea Davison here.
Looks running a bit wide there on the exit.
Malixon's still leading. This track is just one that's really, really difficult, and you gotta pace yourself here. This is one of those kinds of tracks that you kind of have to race the track because it's, it may not look that difficult from an outside perspective, but this track is pretty difficult because it doesn't really, a lot of the turns here are very, they're not medium speed sweepers, but they're not really low speed either. They're kind of in the middle between those two.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's kind of the thing, very endurance racing coded. This track is very endurance coded, and that's the thing. You just have to make sure you pace yourself and just manage yourself and don't make any silly mistakes. Just keep your tires as nice as possible. Punch in a bunch of good, consistent laps. That's once again the key.
Yeah.
34.
Harina really gained that lap. She's down to 1.6 back on Malixon now.
Yeah, that 34 is very fast.
She's clearly showing how fast she is. And a 149 that last lap.
Definitely pushing. That is close to a lap that you'd expect with fresh tires, so she's definitely pushing it.
She's really pushing it, trying to get to that 23. And I think the important thing there is it's going to depend on who exactly leads through the pit cycle, I think.
Yeah, that's also going to be really important. We've seen road course races here oftentimes are decided by the execution and strategy on pit road. And yeah, especially if you're at the sharp end of the field right here, you definitely want to make sure you lose as little time as possible on pit lane. Because all this progress can be thrown away with a bad pit stop or just a bad in and out lap.
Malikson still leads, but Harina is there. She is really closed up. Tosum is also closed right back up to Hanstrom now for third, so we gotta move for third. We may have a battle for fifth here. We're having a battle for seventh for a while.
A battle, yeah.
Vebelst has been trying to grab this spot from Stoneman for a while, and she may actually clear.
Yeah, using that outside.
She's clear, but the 10's gonna be able to get back to the inside.
Yeah, using the outside exit off of the chicane was a pretty good strategy. As we see, the gap now is halved again, under a second between the 23 and 34.
They're three wide here.
Oh dear. I think the 64 brushed the inside wall a bit. But no harm done, I don't think. Not much, anyways. 34 is there, yeah.
34 is all over the 23 now.
There's no lap cars to get in the way this time.
And I mean, these are two drivers that are also very much road course ringers. You know, Malikson, obviously, we've talked about how good she is on the road courses, but Harina, you know, she's one of those drivers who maybe she hasn't performed that well on the road courses, but this is her background. That's her expertise.
Yeah, and Harina being the first car outside the playoffs right now, just a bit of inconsistency. Just a bit of inconsistency so far this season. But yeah, she has managed the top 5. She has managed the top 5 at a road course. She did so in Montreal, and that was her most recent top 5. But yeah, she's running really well here.
She also won her way into the All-Star race earlier this week. Managed to win the Open.
23 running a bit wide. That's going to open the door. Bit of a bumper there.
They're going to be side by side coming to the line.
Drag race into 1.
Imagine if that was the finish of the race.
Yeah, that would be some epic seeds there. 34 looking around. That might be a strategy if you try to sneak away with a win. You don't have to get to 1. You just need to make sure you're ahead at the line.
Yeah. But Malikson stays ahead for now.
Yep, 34 did well there to back out enough, but stay on her rear bumper. These two are still going for it.
Vebelst, I think Vebelst and Stoneman are trying to out-aggressive each other.
Yeah, this has been an absolutely magnificent battle. It's only really been outdone by the battle for the lead.
Yeah. And Harina's really started to slip a little bit now. That 34 is kind of lagging back a little bit. Looks like the 64 of Nihil just came down pit road from the top 10, so...
Yeah, that seems scheduled.
I think we're starting to see our pit cycle kick in here.
The edge of the top 10 starting to come in now. Interesting scenes
Saw
here.
Cole come in.
Yeah, took fuel and tires as well.
She did a little bit of damage repair, so she had a bit of an extra long stop, but...
Yeah, 64 just had that little bit of damage from the on the left side there as well. Doesn't look like it hurt. I don't think that affected her stop too much, did it? Nope.
There's 9th place at stake, 92 and 62. There's 11th Brie Delade. This is one of the most crucial spots on the track right here, is the exit of this front stretch chicane. That's one of the crucial spots for gaining ground.
Yeah, at the very least, you want to make sure you get a good exit just to be able to set up a move into 1, or if you are in that situation fighting for the win at the end, to potentially set up a drag race for the finish.
Yeah. Vettel still can't clear the 10. The 99s for the last few laps has been ahead of the 10 at the line, but can't clear. So she's been ahead of the 10 everywhere except for she's been behind the 10 everywhere except at the start-finish line where the position, counts. One Dio's just come down pit road. Looks like there's no damage repair on that, so that appears to be a normally scheduled stop.
Yeah,
so
a few cars definitely coming in now. I think we will be definitely. We're definitely going to be We're going to start talking about the pit cycle pretty soon here.
Well, the fuel window's about 22 to 23 laps.
So yeah, definitely, yeah.
So we're going to probably see the 23 and 34 come down pit road soon. So this is where the strategy becomes important. Who's going to try to out-strategy game the other? Or are they both going to try and come in or are they both going to come in at the same time?
Yeah.
Malikson still leading. Yanaga's kind of pressuring Byrne now for the 5th spot. Harina's in.
Coming in, yeah.
So Harina's going to take the early entry.
Looking for the undercut there. We'll see if anybody else
try to
follows
undercut.
her from the front of the field.
Handstrom,
And
Tosima,
93
Yanaga.
and 46. That's most of the top 6 coming in. These two are going to stay out and continue fighting each other. Another drag race between Vebelst and Stoneman.
Vebelst, I believe, is going to
this time.
finally get clear.
Yep. Make sure to close the door again, though. Looks like she's kept it just open, but the 10 can't get there.
Oh, now the 10
she's
got
still
there.
running. She ran a bit too wide. Yeah, that's enough of a window for the 10 to retain that spot. That battle just continues on.
And here's our first stops that we're
close
seeing.
shave there.
98 down. You see the 98, 55, 71, 60, 82. Most of these cars towards the front.
These are going to be the 3 to watch here. 34, 19, and 93.
Yeah.
Cars from the top 5 coming in. And that 46 as well, coming in from 6th place.
Yeah, all those cars undercut. There's where the 64 is.
Yep. Watch out. Yeah, we'll definitely be watching out for the 64 as well, because she came in a few laps before everyone.
Yeah, she came in early.
See where she filters out. Looks like about the same place where she was before.
Yeah.
Right with the 62. Now we'll see if the 23 responds here. She probably will have to.
Well,
given that
she's
we're
going to
allowed
have
22,
to.
Yeah.
Because they're very close to their fuel window. See where Malikson comes. Yep, she's on pit road. 23's in. 9 car, which runs second now. See what Byrne does.
Like
She's
everyone's
in.
gotta come in here.
I think you gotta come in here.
I don't think you want to risk a 23rd lap out here. Yep.
I don't think you have enough fuel to do a 23rd lap.
Yeah. And at this track, it's very detrimental if you run out of fuel.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of full throttle time here.
Because you won't be able to make that up. And also, you won't be able to get back to the pit road.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you completely cut like half the track, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's the 23.
Will come out in the lead.
She's going to come out pretty far ahead of the 34, but cold tires may be something to watch out for. See about the 46. I'm not sure the 9 has. The 9 will stay ahead of the 46.
Stay ahead for now. We'll see if she can keep that though, because the 9 is running a bit wide. And the 46 is going to have those warmer tires.
Yeah, 46 has warmed up the tires. 9's still on cold tires.
Yeah, through the dog leg here. 46 is all over the rear bumper. 46 looks to the outside.
46 looked to the outside, tried to maybe drive by on the outside, but could not do it.
Or maybe try to set up something into 6, but not able to get there.
Looks like the undercut didn't really do much. I think if the undercut's gonna really do anything, it's gonna be... If the undercut's gonna really do anything, I think it's gonna be if... You know, you're like 2, 3, or 4 laps there on the undercut. But one lap isn't just not... I don't think that's gonna make much of a difference.
Yeah.
Malikson had a great stop there, too. Easy Javida is out there on... Easy Javida has not come to pit road yet because she took tires when she blew a tire earlier. She is about to be caught too because her lap times are pretty ridiculously slow, I think. Yeah, she's running about 2 seconds off. Here's Tosima trying to snag the spot from Handstrom. Not going to happen though. 99 and 10 are still next to each other. 46 finally going to get by Burns, so Yanaga's up to 5th. There's Nihal and Yukovic and Yatika fighting here. Bria Dalad in 11th. We got an absolute mess over here. Yukovic looking underneath Nihal here. Through the kink and down into the West Horseshoe. Harina's starting to close up on Malikson again, though. Really closing up. And again, I think another thing that's worth discussing here, AWSCO already has that high drag package. You know what makes this even better? The draft is so important at this track, even without that high drag package. With that high drag package in AWSCO, the draft is super important, and getting right behind a car and being able to draft off them is very much something that you're going to have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah. And just like that, the 34 is now right on the 23.
Yeah, and the 93 is right on the 19. Is here, but she's not close enough to make that move yet. Oh, the 34 really slid out a little bit there. Same for the 93.
93, yep.
10 car's starting to gap the 99 just a tiny bit. Here's this battle for 9th. Actually 10th right now. Yatika trying to take this spot from Yukovic. She might get both of these cars. She will get both of those cars, and look at who's closing into these cars as well as that 55, Bria Dalad.
Yep, Dalad is slowly making progress now, up to, that would be...
She's in 11th.
11th place, yes.
Or 12th, excuse me.
Okay.
Every time I see Bria Dalad making up positions, I feel like I hear Jaws music start playing. Because she is always a threat at these at these tracks. There she goes, looking underneath Yukovic for the 11th spot. Gonna try to make the outside work.
Just looking out the rear bumper. Can't really make a move here, though. Not unless you're very bold.
We've seen it.
We've seen it. You have to be very brave to do it, but... Oh, speaking of...
There's a lap car.
Lead, yes. Two of Javida now in the middle, but won't be for long as Harina looks to the inside here.
She's not going to be a factor. Again, remember that 2's a Honda. So she's probably not going to be too impeding to her... to another Honda. Third and fourth, pretty well back.
Yeah, looks like we've got a trio of quartet of 2-car battles, I should say.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we start getting kind of groups of 4 back here.
Bria Delad now trying to... She's still battling Yukovic right now. There's Alicantes, Ajarsaraj, Davison, Yuria all in this group over here. Harina's still closing in on Malikson, though. That 34 is not one to... You don't want to count out that 34 right now. And she is closing in very quickly on Yappy. Alexson kind of trying to block off that high side.
Yeah, 34 getting a little bit creative here. We'll see what she does.
Goes to the inside.
There we go.
Harina to the inside into turn 1.
23 well wide. Can the 34 clear? Shouldn't
Not
need
quite,
to.
but
There we go.
now she's clear. And the new leader is Mika Harina in the 34. She's back to the front.
I'll clear over here. Not much change for the other battles. The 99 sends it way wide.
There's Tosima fighting with Handstrom right there. See if Malikson can maybe keep pace with Harina for a little bit.
Yeah, we know that 34 was mad fast catching the 34, but now that the 23 is in that chasing position, we'll see what happens. Ooh.
Oh, and the 6 is blown up. That's another Southwest car.
Yeah, okay, that team might actually be supplied by Mechachrome engines because those engines, those power units are horrific. They've been horrific this season, and it somehow comes to a head at this track.
See a couple
26 coming
cars in. Those
39's.
cars are off cycle,
Yeah,
so
39's also off cycle. Story of Southwest, really. They got a car in the top 5 and 3 cars in the garage now.
if I'm Yanaga, I would be very worried. I would be very worried about my engine if I'm Yenfi Yanaga. Hell, you got any clue as to what's up on the 6 car of McJasmina?
Yeah, it looks like she's having some pretty major engine issues. I don't think we're gonna see her back on the track. So, yeah, we'll wait to hear from her pit crew, but it's not looking too great.
I'm not sure I've ever seen this. I'm never sure I've ever seen a team that's missed the engine setup this badly, because they have 3 cars out of the race and it's lap 28. So this is a pretty difficult track mechanically, but still, I would never expect this. I wouldn't have expected it to be this bad, especially for Southwest.
Early, yeah.
Yeah.
We're only just over a quarter of the way into the race, and one team's at 3/4 of their team eliminated through engine failures. Howina now trying to just gap the 23 a little bit. 23's doing her best to not let the 34 get away here. Through the Le Mans chicane they go. Nice clean lines for all of them. The 19 and 93 now catching to the 2 of Ijavida now.
Yeah, Javid is still off cycle, and she's off cycle in terms of tires, and also the fact that she doesn't have a hood. So
yeah.
Three cars out of the race for engine issues. They're the 42, 16, and 6. And 3 cars out of the race for accident-related reasons. Ku got spun.
Yeah, 96.
Rugatino was involved in an earlier accident.
Oh yeah, with the 72.
Yeah, and the 91 got involved in an incident on pit road.
lane,
As
yes.
the 93
Trying to split the two of each other here.
93 is gonna get the spot. She's gonna
93 's on
stack the
preferred line.
19 behind the
well
2.
Back. 19's gonna get dragged behind to the 46 of Yanaga.
I thought she might have lost that spot, but she held on to it.
Yeah. 18 of Perry Alacantes is here. That's with the 64. This is just out. This is what, 13th, 14th?
This is for 13th,
Yeah.
I believe.
I think we've seen Alacantes
14th.
that much yet. She was kind of there and thereabouts here, but she started all the way out in 30th. So
Yeah.
I think that's the Mason Parker car we neglected to mention.
Yeah.
She has won at Denver, of course, but she does run pretty well. Still runs pretty well at these road courses, regardless.
She's run well at almost all of the road courses. The only road course I can remember her having a particularly bad day at was Mexico City.
Yeah. Bria Delot now just encroaching upon the top 10. I think she's running 11th too. Going through the rest of the field here. 31, that's another car that's slightly off cycle, I think.
Yep, she is in fact off cycle.
19 finally getting around the 2. That's greatly impeded her, but
The 23 is stuck with the 34.
yeah.
She has not lost the 34.
Yeah, making good use of the high drag package here. You know, the 34 does seem to be faster, but the 23 is doing well just to hang on to things.
I think the thing is that the 23 and the 34 here, with what the high drag package really helps with is staying in tune on the straightaways.
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, in this technical section here, you know, the infield section, this really helps the 34. Everywhere else it helps the 23 because of that drag. Now the 34 is punching the hole in the air. The 23 is able to use the high drag to get by, as we see a pass for 5th. Well, we didn't see the pass for 5th, but there has been a pass for 5th as Carly Byrne has taken it back from Yanaga. And Bria Delot has gotten by all of these cars. So Delot's by both Yatica and Jukovic. So now the 55 is up to 9th.
Yeah, speaking of the Jaws music, the 55 is into the top 10 now. Obviously well behind the field, but if we do end up getting that caution, this 55 might become a threat to win.
Well, look at how long this race is, and tell me you think that they'll go caution-free. I think that it's very, very possible.
Yeah.
Even maybe likely that this race gets a caution. But back at Bathurst, we saw 2 yellows in that race, and that was that's the only other 500-kilometer race, and that one's actually just a tiny bit shorter. Technically, it's about 2 miles shorter, just because of the way that the math worked out when calculating the race length. Malikson's caught back up. Yappy is here. She's not going away. If Harina thought that, you know, she could get away from that 23, I think she might have thought wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this is a big group back here.
Ooh, yep. That's a common occurrence we've seen here. But yeah, this is now a group of 3. With the 19 being pegged back because of the 2.
Yeah, now Handstrom's been kind of pushed back to Byrne and Yanaga. You've got Vebel still fighting with Stoneman here. You know, you gotta wonder. It's Marisha Vebels. Do you think she might just punt the 10 at some point?
Maybe. These two have been at it for so long that I think that the 99 is definitely getting a little bit frustrated being behind the 10.
That's just kind of how it goes at this track sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we saw how long it took for the 34 to get around the 23.
Yeah.
Mind you, some of that was self-inflicted, but regardless. It takes a...
Some of that was self-inflicted. The 99's been trying to get by the 10 for even longer, and she hasn't really messed up at all. And she's still behind the 10 car. Now we're kind of in that stage of the race where not much is going to happen for a little bit. This is really just this is just kind of cycle everything out territory here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's on the same pit strategy at this point, so what happens here is going to be very interesting, because if we get a caution, that's going to put some cars on different cycles and different strategies. And that would make things very interesting if that were to take place. 8 cars on pit road. Looks like that's a scheduled stop. Yeah, Malikson is using the draft to keep up with the 34, so
Yeah, that's really important.
I'm not sure if Malikson is better at cornering than Harina is, but Malikson is able to just use the car just enough to where she can stick with the 34.
Yeah. And that's what's important, as long as you can stay with them here. Maybe try to force a mistake out. That's also something you can try to do.
Well, I think the best spot we're going to see, if she can try to force a mistake at the 34, is going to be on the exit of that front stretch chicane. That's the spot where the most drama happens. A little wide there. 9 car looking to the outside on the 19. Not going to make the move. Vettel's still looking to the outside there. You got Yukovic trailing Delot, and she's not going to go for anything here. There's a Jarida finally coming down pit road.
Out of NASCAR 2 here. Malikson just maintaining contact with the 34 of Harina. That seems to be her main task right now. She seems to be just focused on kind of making sure she stays in contact, maybe preparing for that next pit cycle. Maybe she just knows that she doesn't have quite the raw pace that the 34 has right now. And so that's might be what she's trying to do. Just kind of run behind her, maybe if you can force a mistake out of her and take back the lead. But if not, just stay alongside the 34 and maybe try to snipe her in the pit cycle. Meanwhile, here, side by side.
Here comes Yanaga trying to take this spot from Byrne.
Yeah, through the front stretch chicane. Careful. Close to contact there.
They're still too wide.
46 on the inside, trying to push the 19 so she can try to get past the 9 as well. Byrne trying to arc the corner around. 46 to the inside of the 19 here.
She might get them both.
Yeah,
she will get them both. So move Yanaga up to 4th.
That's a 5-car battle now. The 10 and 99 have joined.
They've actually caught up to this. Ellie, you got something on pit road?
Yeah, it looks like the 20 of Abrielle had a oil leak, so I'm pretty sure they've got her on pit road already to work on her car.
Looks like they're fixing that, but that's unfortunate for Gabriella, who's someone who needed a good run. And she is not going to get that. Oh, the 9 went way wide off the West Horseshoe. She lost all that ground. Well, for Marisha, she just gained a spot. Unfortunately, she didn't pass the 10 to do it.
Yeah. She's still behind the 10, but hey, a spot's a spot.
Yeah. Makes all the difference, I suppose. If a caution were to come out, that would easily save a lot of these cars, because I think a lot of these cars, you know, because of how, you know, this race has gone very long green, it's spread out the field a lot, and I think that the best chance for a lot of these cars to get back towards a chance to battle for the win is for a caution to come out and for us to get a restart. Because we've got, you know, these top 2 are within a second, and then you have to go back 7 seconds to Tosima in third. And then another 5 seconds to Handstrom, Stoneman, and Vebelst fighting for fourth with Janiga. How about Andrea Davison in the 22 car?
Yeah, her alongside that 55 kind of just have been in this kind of area pretty much. Davison started out in 10th, dropped back a little bit earlier on, but has found herself back into this kind of area.
Oh, the 72 of Parkings.
Parkings. Looks like had to get a toe there. Oop, right on the inside of 6. Just.
Oh, that thing blew up.
Blew up pretty badly, yeah. Right on the inside of 6 in a pretty hairy area, but right in front of the service vehicles, thankfully.
Yeah, I don't think that qualifies as a caution.
No,
that's not in the.
So.
That is not in the area that they deem as the track surface.
There's another Toyota with an engine problem.
Yeah, that is another Toyota. And Southwest and Flurvent do get the same engines. They both get TRD engines, so as well as Inverness Racing, the 92 and the 26 cars. So
yeah, what in the 2014 is happening with these TRD engines?
Ellie?
Yeah, a bad day for Toyota fans right now, as another Toyota engine has just failed pretty catastrophically. She's going to be taken off of the road. Not sure if it's over-revving or any mechanical failures, but it's catastrophic enough to get her off the road.
Stoneman trying to pass Handstrom. Interesting note here, but Janiga just gained a little bit on the leaders.
Yeah, Janiga sitting in 4th now, 11 seconds back. Not
She was
too
12
far.
back earlier.
Yeah,
now
not
she's down to
too far out.
11.7, so her lap times are looking pretty solid. Delod fighting with Davison. You got Jukovic, Alicante, Siataga all around here. Well, Parkings was already involved in that spin, so she could have maybe back-revved it, and that might have just eventually taken its toll. Vebels looks like she went off track, so she's now back behind Byrne. Stoneman now moved up to fighting with Hamstrom for 5th spot. Audie Stoneman runs really well. She's run well at almost all of these road course races, but she has just not been able to finish them at all.
My PlayStation isn't plugged in.
Malexon is still within a second of Harina. And Harina is, well, she's fast, but I'm not exactly sure she's the fastest. See this mix back here. There's Alicantes fighting with Yatica for the 11th position. Nihil's back here as well. And Yatica went way wide there. 72 is retired from the race. Piston issue is why they retired. Same as the 16. And McJasmine and Gennaro also shared a retirement issue of clutch.
That's let the door open for the 23 for the first time.
23's gotten to the outside. I think 34 had it at the line, but it was really close.
Yep, under 1/100th of a second there.
But Malexon, I think, is going to tuck back in here.
Yep, should be able to close the door here. 23's, yep, it's going to tuck right behind in.
23 didn't have to check up, though, through the corner, and that's
really important. Doesn't, let's her stay right behind the 34.
Yeah.
And
Look at that gap. 2 1,000ths of a second at the line.
Nothing separating them there.
Doubles has gotten back by Carly Byrne, so the 99 back into 7th. Half of the Toyotas in this race have retired with engine issues. I think that's just worth pointing out.
Yeah.
Because there's 8 of them and 4 are already out.
Mm-hmm.
So reliability a concern here.
Well, we are going to be coming up on that second pit cycle pretty soon, I think. It'd be
Yeah,
laps.
should be in about
What?
6 to 8 laps here.
Yeah, 43. Laps 43 to 46 is what I'd be targeting, I think, as that second window.
Yeah.
We're doing a good job just to keep the door closed there.
At about 6 to 7 laps. Oh, Malexon got really loose.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Went onto the grass there. The 10 of Stoneman has gotten around.
Well, at least for the first time in approximately most of the race, the 10 no longer has to watch the 99 in a rear view mirror.
For now.
For now, yes. 18 of Alicantes just looking at a top 10, potential top 10 here. Chasing down the 62. Definitely been the driver that's been moving up the most in this race.
Yeah. Let's go with a bit of a aggressive sidestep there. I mean, it's been these two that have been the ones to discuss, but
Yeah, not much right now. It's just we're definitely clocking the laps in.
yeah,
Just until, just to make sure, just to get to the, just to get to the second pit cycle. Looks like the 52 has come in, taken service. She did come in a little early in the first time around as well. So, yeah,
that's planned.
There's definitely a bit of intrigue over the how the pit strategy is going to go, given that we're running 22, 23 laps, and 4 of those equal just over 88. They're going to be cutting it close on fuel. I don't think they're going to. They should be able to run 23 laps, kind of pushing. They should be able to push it on fuel to make this a 3-stop. But if you are going to be using the undercut a lot, that's going to be a point of concern for some of these drivers.
Yeah, you've got to time it to where you can make it. You got to time it to where you can make it on that last fuel run.
Yeah. And it's gonna be important to make sure your car is filled up all the way for that last run, because you got to make it to the end there.
Yeah. Malixon slipped back enough to where she can't get that draft off the 34 anymore. So it's kind of, these two are just kind of drifting away from each other a little bit now, but we'll see if that changes any.
Yep, looking at the 3 here, last car on the lead lap there, I believe.
Yep. 3 of Reno is in fact the last car on the lead lap. There's only 1 car off the lead lap, and that's the 2 of Ijavida. Well, 1 car off the lead lap that's still running.
Yeah.
There's Alicantes. She's got Nihil pressuring her.
Yeah, lost a bit of ground there. Fell behind the 22 and is now holding off the 64.
I think the other thing, you'd be looking at now, Jocelyn Nihil, this is very important for her because this kind of involves that, points lead battle.
Yes.
Remember that the points leader gets an automatic berth into the playoffs if they don't have a win.
Yes.
Nihil doesn't have a win, but Malixon doesn't have a win either.
Yeah, they're both in their own points battle right now. And if things do come to a point where that's the only guaranteed spot left, that will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially if neither of them do have a win entering Pensacola.
Yeah. Which, with how they've run, feels like it's something that's probably not going to happen.
Feels like an anomaly coming in here.
Nihil's in. Nihil's in very early.
Very early, yes. Taking a deep undercut here. Interesting. .99 and 19. 46 running her own race as well. 93 is on top of that. Febbles now looking around, trying to find a way past the 19 of Arlen Handstrom. There's the 9 of Carly Byrne as well, started up on the front row.
64 coming out.
Now, 14-second stop.
14.83. But Harina still leads. Malixon second. She's starting to close back up to the 34 though. I think that second place car just has that benefit of when they push, it's easier for them to catch up because of that draft.
Yeah, definitely. I think, the high drag package definitely comes with its benefits, especially if you are the car chasing, as we're seeing with the 23 right now.
Yeah, and we saw with the 34 earlier in the race.
Yeah, neither car biting right now. No, neither of them coming in.
Down to under a second is Malixon. Yanaga's in. 46 is coming down pit road. Looks like Handstrom's in as well. Now we're really starting to see the split.
Yeah, the strategies are starting to diverge a bit here.
We're starting to see the split here because, we have the, there's a bit of an undercut at the play here. but you want to try and make that undercut last
Yeah.
to where you can make the end of the race.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing 21 laps because that's not enough. 22 will just get you to the end, and 23 is more than enough. So you want to balance out that kind of those stints basically.
Yeah.
23 running a bit wide there off of the westward chute.
There's Mevebelst and Byrne, Davison, Yukovic, Delod. A lot of cars have come down pit road now.
Yeah, quite a few cars coming in now. None of our leaders outside of the 46, I think.
We're encroaching on halfway here. Lap 44 is the official halfway point. So if ever there's a great time to get a caution, it would probably be under that mid-race report and just a few laps.
Yeah, and hopefully that will probably be at the end of the pit cycle as well.
Yeah. I believe Karina's in.
23.
Staying
Once again,
out.
Staying out, trying to overcut. That's what she did last time.
Tosum is in.
10, 99, and 9 are next up here.
99's going to stay out.
Looks
10 like
is
the 10
coming
came in. Different strategies for the red racing cars that are up towards the front.
Yep.
Yannick is pretty well ahead of Hanstrom. Jarsaraj is in there. Got the lot in. A lot of cars are all in right now. Good stop for Harina, 15.75.
Here's the 34. See if the 23 will respond here by coming in this time around.
Well, we'll have to wait a bit to
Yeah.
see what she does.
23 is just coming out into the oval section now.
But now she's in clean air.
Yeah,
So
she's by
either this will be really good for her because she has the ability to run a lap not restricted by that 34, or this could be really bad for her because she doesn't have that draft.
You guys should lose some of the toe that she has through this section here.
See how long she runs for. I think theoretically she could go all the way to lap 46. I'm not sure she will.
Yeah, she can go that far, but she doesn't need to. We're coming up on halfway here, so she can make the race on one more. She can pretty much make the race in one more stop. She will come in now.
23's in. So let's see how that race cycles out.
A lot of early takers, I would say. A lot of cars coming in before the halfway points.
Yeah. A lot of cars that came in before the window really closed, too.
Yeah, which is interesting. Let's see what this means for that last stop.
99 and 9 are in.
Yep. See if anybody does stay out and try to make it to the halfway point on just one stop. It's the 34 negotiating through the front stretch chicane.
17, 1. They're all in. 19 actually jumped the 10. 23 is exiting here. There's the 34. And I think the 23 might might jump the 34. Yeah, she is. She's going to overcut.
That's a good enough gap, I think, to stay ahead.
Yeah, she's going to overcut Harina, so
There it is.
a good stop for Malikson.
See what about the 9 and 99 here. There's the 99. Where's the 9? There's the 93.
There's the 9. 99 jumped the
99
19.
did jump, yeah. 99 did jump. Looks like the overcut's making it work. Making things work.
Sometimes the overcut can work. Sometimes the undercut works. It's very interesting because it's been different pretty much every time.
Yeah, and you also have to factor in that the tire's warming up here.
Yeah.
55 and 92.
Delod and Yatsika.
Yep. There's the 18 jumped quite a few cars. 18's ahead of all of those. Or was ahead of the ahead of
Yeah,
the
she's
62.
she's in 9th now, actually, ahead of the 62. How about the 8 of Schliesenbach? She's up here. She's on she's a bit off cycle too.
A lot
so
off cycle, but yeah.
she's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Taylor Happerman as well, the 31.
Happerman's another one of the drivers that are on that. There's way off cycle as well, running pretty well here. Once everything shakes up. 34 is closing in again, benefiting from that high drag package once again. And already to the outside of the 23, but the 23 is going to get a good exit, just enough to stay ahead at the line by
She'll stay ahead
a
at the line.
visible margin, at least.
She'll stay ahead at the line. The 34 is going to be on the outside into 1, and that's just not where you want to be.
Yeah. See if the 34 has to back off. She does.
She had to back off, yeah.
93 still running by herself, about 7.5 seconds back.
Vebelst 5th. Vebelst is now ahead of Stoneman, so
Rebels has passed Stoneman. This is big news.
there's where Alicantes
18
is in 9th.
Davison in 10th.
Yeah, the 22 is right behind them, and this is a 10-second gap between the 18 and the 9. It's been a two-way battle between Malikson and Harina all race here from Daytona.
Those are going through lap 45 right now, just over the halfway point here at the Daytona Road Course.
Oh, Schliesenbach way off.
Way off. Going full rallying there.
That'll give at least one spot up. It's actually going to give up 2.
Blocking the 64 there.
And now, here's the thing. The thing with the cut line is Malikson's already well in the cut line, so if Malikson were to win, it wouldn't really change
This wouldn't
much.
really change the playoff picture that much, yes.
The only thing it would change is now Malikson would be a car that would be battling for the points lead
Yeah, that's
with
no matter what,
Nihale.
basically, Yeah,
with Nihale, who,
doesn't.
if Nihale doesn't have a win,
doesn't have a win, yes.
then she could be knocked out if there are more than 20 winners.
Yeah.
Because these are both 2 cars that don't have a win yet this year.
Yeah, if the 23 wins, it doesn't change that much. If the 34 wins, it does change quite a bit.
It does change a fair bit if Harino is able to win.
Yeah, 34 being the first one out on points without a win still, that would effectively move the cut line.
There's Tosima back 7 seconds. Tosima's done a good job of just sticking 7 seconds back. She hasn't really lost that much time to these
Stayed
leaders.
Just about there.
And I think that if you're Tosima as well, the other thing with Tosima here, she's fast enough to the point where if there's a caution and we get a bit of a reset in this race, Tosima's in a really good position to maybe contend for the win.
Yeah, I would say so as well. 46 is another one to look out for, I think. 46 is now, it's just been moving up through the pack just slowly but surely as well. Now under 10 seconds behind the field.
Yeah, she's actually gained quite a bit of time on those 2 leaders. She was 12 seconds back at one point, and she's gained about 2 seconds pretty much on pure pace alone. Well, we're just past halfway, so that means that we're going to get ourselves a little bit of a break here in the booth, and we're going to send you down to our FanDuel Fan Studio for the FanDuel Mid-Race Report, and hopefully they don't cause a caution to stall this race at this time. All right, Eddie, Ellie, what do you 2 have down there?
I think Eddie is having some issues, so I will just yap about what I think so far until Eddie gets back. Okay, Eddie is back.
Sorry about that.
It's
Random
okay.
problems. I just kind of got a bit excited and may have not crossed the room.
Nah, it's alright.
That
Take
was
it
the
away.
10-minute second. Yeah, so we're back. Past midway in this race. I mean, and it's been another one of those road course races. You really don't expect much racing out of the start. You really just hope everyone survives the start. We did not see people survive the start. We didn't even we saw a card that didn't even survive 2 corners. But I think that's where we can start for the mid-race report, because one of the big storylines coming out of this race so far, obviously, is the fact that Toyota engines have not been surviving this race very well. I think I've heard a couple times in the garage people joke about how the Toyota engines today have not been able to handle the Florida heat. This is supposed to be the joke that we are currently in the dead of night. So I guess really the question is, Ellie, you've been in the garage more than I have.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything both in terms of how the engines have looked coming out of the cars and how I think the Toyota teams are just kind of reacting themselves to the fact that their cars are pretty much have had multiple mechanical failures over the past, 47 laps really. It started on lap 1 as continued since.
Yeah, I think it's more so a Southwest issue, because we have a couple Toyotas still here that have had no problems, but the almost entirety of the Southwest team is just gone, demolished. Their engines are just completely destroyed. So I'm not really too sure what's the whole deal with that, but yeah, that's been a really weird factor here.
Mm-hmm. And then you you also look at Southwest, the team, and with 3 of their cars out, you would expect the 4th car to be kind of hanging on the edge of survival, and yet Yenfe Yanega out here in 4th,
Yeah, she's
currently, fighting for a top 5. Again, you've been around the garage. Is there anything sort of from that garage that's just sort of a survive the race type of deal, or are they in more of a, listen, we're the last car standing, we got to push for points, we got to push for this win. The other 3, we're just going to count out the coincidences and let's go win this thing? Or are they sort of trying to budget where their car is right now to hope that the car can survive and maybe get Yenfe? I think this would be her first top 10 in a while. I know she actually did top 10 at Sonoma, but top 10s for her, few and far between, so it'd still be a big run for her to finish. Even top 5 would be a huge run for her. So have you heard anything from her garage specifically that's just sort of where they're planning to go the next 40 laps or so?
I think they want her to get points for her team. I think they want her to stay locked in where she is right now, because she's in a pretty decent position, and I think it would be a better look to at least have one of their cars doing pretty good. And 4th place is not too bad, especially considering where the rest of their team was.
Absolutely. And against Southwest, only one driver, Jami McYasmina, won at Montreal, but they haven't had much success outside of that. Yanega's the only car of theirs above the cut line. But looking at, the other storyline out of this is that it has been a 2-horse race. Yappy Malakson and Mika Harina, who you see on your screen right now, have been beating and banging and fighting their way the past 45 or so laps. Ever since the restart, it's been clearly these 2 drivers out front. And, it's interesting looking at it, because you've got Malakson, who's 2 points behind Nihale for the regular season title right now, which again is big in terms of that locks you into a spot. So a win here would lock her in and also get her ahead of Nihale. But then on the other side of that, you have Mika Harina, who is currently 13 points outside of the bubble. The only Atlantic car, really fighting for it. I thought Atlantic had a worse driver. It turns out they don't. Yukovic, Nihale, and Raristow are all locked in. Harina's the one who hasn't been, so a win would lock every Atlantic car in. It's really a battle of, 2 of the best teams we have in the Windows Cup Series, but also 2 drivers who are only a couple points away, realistically, from an automatic playoff, from getting into the playoff. 2 drivers around the playoff bubble fighting for it. I guess really my question is, do you see whether either of them have some sort of edge against the other one? Because other than track position, they've usually been pretty lockstep with each other. One maybe pulls ahead a little bit, but the other is coming swinging right back.
Well, what I have noticed so far is even when Malakson slows down, there's certain times where she's handling the corners a little bit better than the 34 does. I think she might have just a little bit more experience with road courses than the 34, and it's kind of visualizing right now, and it has been the entire race. I mean, the 34 has pulled away multiple times, but there's been also multiple times where the 23 will just handle the corners better, even when she's slower than the 34. So I think there might be a slight skill gap there that might benefit her just a little bit more. But the interesting thing about that is that if the 23 wins, it doesn't change much in the playoffs. The 34 wins, like you said, it drags a lot of Atlantic cars up. I think the 34 and her team is going to want to have her win or get...
And suddenly I'm looking at the monitors. 34 just
she
little
slid wide
there.
Yeah, way
and
too wide.
That's going to give the 23 gap.
And that's been the thing I've been talking about, because I haven't noticed the 23 do that too much. Like, at all.
Nope. That I think where Yappy's, I don't want to say experience, but really comes in. She is one of those drivers. I mean, grew up in Australia, had a lot of sort of road course experience, and I didn't pay off in her home tracks. She had a pretty bad run at Bathurst, and yet she's had some great runs. I mean, 5th in Montreal, 8th at Mosport, 5th at Sonoma. She's been collecting top 5s and top 10s, and realistically, I think one of their biggest things is that she's not a driver who ever finishes outside the top 30. In fact, she never has. Her worst finish has been 30th, which was twice.
Wow.
So she's just a driver that, if she has a bad race, it usually means she's finishing like 24th or 28th or something, and not a bad race finishing last.
Yeah.
So
Now,
you can call her, I mean...
One thing I think that's going to matter here... No, you're fine. But one thing I think that's going to matter here is pit strategy. So I think the 23 has that slight skill gap that I've been noticing. But if the 34 gets a good pit stop, like a fast one too, I think the 34, if she times it right, that's one way she could definitely win. But I don't know how effective that'll be, because we have seen the 23 come out from under and still take that away. And I do find the previous pit cycle a little interesting. I think some of the cars coming into pit at lap 41 might have been a little niche, but we've been noticing like the pit cycle has been like every 21, 23 laps, and I think it's been a decent pit strategy to watch, but it hasn't really changed too much, so I don't know if the 34 can bank on that.
We're really going to have to see. I mean, we've seen road courses come down to pit strategy before. Maybe this isn't the track for that, but maybe someone has something up their sleeve that we just don't know about. Speaking of people trying to with things up their sleeve, you look at the rest of the top 10, a couple ERR cars, a couple of big names, a couple of drivers just kind of looking for spots. One last thing before we get really to our FanDuel fan picks, our final ones for the evening, is if you had to pick, Ellie, looking at 3rd through 10th right now, is there any drivers out there that you think either through a great pit strategy or maybe just through pace could catch the 23 and the 24, who, I mean, right now you see it right there, it's about a 5-second, actually kind of closing a little bit. It looks like the 93 is making up some time, but you could see sort of where the gaps are. Do you think there's a driver 3rd through 10th that could realistically pull off the pit strategy and be up with these drivers in the last 10 laps after the final pit cycle?
Yeah, and we just saw the 34 slow down from 2.67 to 2.73. But the thing is, I think the 93 can do it. I think the 93 is that one car. If something happens, I think she's the one who's going to benefit the most. She's stayed around just -7 seconds pretty much the entire time. And if some crazy caution happens, somebody wrecks, she would be in a perfect position to take advantage of that. So I think it would be her. I think it would be her.
Marini Tosmo won at Sonoma. She could make it 2 road courses in a row, make it 3 races in a row.
But I think my FanDuel pick is I'm still gonna stick with Yappy Malixon. But I would not be shocked if the 93 takes it away.
In my mind, a team can only be cursed so much. So I'm gonna say that, as you see the camera operator switch right back to it. I do think that if there is chaos, which there might be on this final pit stop, I think Yenfianaga leading sort of her own little mini pack could possibly have the 23 to 34 maybe go off a couple times, the 93 bad pits. A lot of things can happen between now and the end of this race, and the 46, albeit with 2 cars behind her, could possibly sneak in and win this one. I'm going to go with her, if nothing else, but to make sure the other drivers don't get pissed in case I curse them again. But I think the 46, Southwest has gone through enough cursing today. I think, realistically, maybe, I don't know, reverse psychology, something, or whatnot. And hey, the Toyota cars are always fun to root for, I guess.
I think that's a fair
Well,
pick.
that's it from... Yep. Well, that's it from us in the FanDuel Mid-Race Studio. We're going to send it back up to Echo and Rasha to close out the last 35 laps or so of this race. Echo and Rasha, I guess I get to say it. What are your FanDuel picks if you had to pick one driver who's going to waltz in a victory lane today?
Yeah, I mean, on pace, it's pretty obvious that's probably going to be one of the 23 and 34 that might do that. That'll probably end up doing so. That'll probably end up with the win at the end. But one of the things that's been kind of just staying with me in the back of my mind through this is the pit strategy. We saw a lot of these cars come in before the midway point, and it's kind of bugging me a bit here that we have a probable 3-stop strategy race here, but a lot of these cars are setting themselves up to not make it in just 3 stops in. We'll see how that shakes up. So, in the case that say the 23 and 34 aren't able to make it, we might see a driver like the 93 of Arinia Tosama come in and take advantage. She's been right there, kind of just sitting 7 or so seconds behind the leader the entire race so far. And I think she's, managing her pace right now. And obviously she's on great form, has taken multiple wins in a row already. But at the same time, that kind of momentum definitely helps. But the fact that she's sitting in this kind of position definitely helps as well. And if there is a caution that kind of resets everyone's strategy and kind of forces a quick run, a short run restart basically, we've seen in these last few restarts that in the restart that we did have, that starting up front doesn't seem to be a real benefit. It seems that starting kind of 3rd or 4th that's where you really want to start, as that kind of gives you the space to make a jump to the inside into turn 1 and pass the cars to take the lead there. So I'd say watch out for that 93 of Arinia Tosama. She's in the right spot to take the win if things go out of plan for the top 2.
Well, then I'll take the 23 of Yappy Malikson. That car's looked really fast. Malikson's been really good on these road courses all year, especially the last few weeks. Through this road course stretch, with five of these last 6 races having been road courses, including this one, as there's a slow car here on the apron. Yappy Malikson has been extremely impressive. She's come very close to the points lead. I think I'm going to take that 23. She's due for a win here. 15 is stalled on the apron. But again, the key is that is the apron and not the racing surface.
Yeah, crucially not on the racing line there. It is out of the way, thankfully. 20.
For 20 of Abrielis coming out of pit road. But Malikson, Harina went off the track earlier, and Harina has not been able to gain that time back on the 23. She just hasn't been able to close back in. We may see a move here. Vebel's trying to drive it. What a deep send that was on Yanaga. And she's going to make that stick, I think. Yes, she is. She's going to get up to 4th. So Mauricia Vebelst has moved up to 4th. Ellie, do you know what happened to the 15?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Tabrizia did, but she messed up the suspension on the car, so they're working on it right now.
A suspension issue, that's something that might not be recoverable for that team. So for Tabrizia, that Royal Racing car, it has been anything but a good season. She finished 6th at Sonoma, she finished 6th at Kentucky, and 4th at Calder Park, and that's pretty much all the good runs she's had pretty much all year. And the bad luck just kind of is rolling in for Tabrizia still. 71 of Little's down pit road. Yanaga's now dropped another spot. She's actually dropped behind Handstrom now. So the 46 is now down to 6th. There's Harina back there, 2.5 seconds behind Malikson.
Yeah. 93's lost a little bit of ground now, down to 9 seconds.
Now down to 9.3, and I think Malikson is starting to pick up some more pace.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that happened with Malikson before, she didn't really have that pace, but she was keeping up with the 34. She is picked it up. She is running some much faster laps now.
Yeah.
Marisha Vebelston, 4th. She's looking pretty solid right now. In that 99 car. And Marisha has not done all that well on these road courses all season. Normally Marisha has been good on the tracks that have been the ovals. She hasn't really shown a lot of pace at the road courses.
Yeah, doing well there just to make, just to maintain the pace. Been very nice and consistent. Hasn't made any rash decisions yet.
Keyword there is yet.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe this is kind of an oval. I mean, it's pretty close to an oval.
There's a lot of oval in it.
Maybe that's why she's doing so well. And she's got, a bunch of oval races coming up because we're going to Lausitzring next week. We're going to Rio de Janeiro next week. We're going to Lausitzring in 2 weeks. Then we're going to Motegi in 3 weeks. We got that world tour, and then the brand new Eco Energy International Speedway. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, those tracks on the international tour are very fun. Definitely looking forward to seeing those tracks.
Oh yeah, me too. Abby Little spent a lot of time on pit road, about 30 seconds on pit road. She might have had some sort of damage from something. She's actually a lap down right now. And yeah, Tolaron is out of the race in that 15 car. Tosima down to 10 seconds back of the lead. So it's just Malikson and Harina within a 10-second point of the lead.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that fuel window is only about 20 laps. I wonder if they're only going to go about 20 laps and they're going to try to force-stop this and see if...
Yeah. That's the thing, is that, looking at the 46 right now, we're looking at the car that came in on lap 41. There's, to make it to the end on one more stop, they'd have to do 23 lap stints, which isn't, I don't know if that's doable, given that that first 23 lap stint did have a caution lap.
Yeah, the first stint had a few cautions.
Had a few caution laps, so I think we might very well be looking at a 4-stop race with a last gasp to the finish here.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can make it to the end actually with that. Maybe 22 is the max, which you would have to do a lot of fuel saving, I think, to be able to make it. So
I think so.
I think 21 lap stints are going to be more realistic, I think.
I think 20 is going to be the most realistic because I think Nihale came in the earliest and she came in after only about 18 or 19 laps. So
Yeah, fair.
I think it's going to be about, if we go all green the rest of the way, that fuel window is about only 20 laps, so I would expect them in about 3 to 5 laps. Unless they decide they can, unless they can really start stretching the fuel. And I'm not sure how they're going to do that. Go back to Mexico City, it was pretty much entirely strategy that determined that race, and Bria Delade had a great strategy in that one. And that was how she won at Mexico City. She undercut she overcut the first stop, undercut the second, overcut the third, and that's something that I think a lot of these cars have to look for now, because that final stop is going to be in a really, really tight window. One thing I'd wonder about in that final stop, do you maybe try to pit a little earlier than...
Yeah. I was going to say, maybe try to short pit there, because...
I would think...
You know, if you're working under the assumption that nobody can make it, and probably can't, and we're thinking here that pretty much everyone can't make it, barring a miracle and or caution laps, yeah, maybe that last stop you do try to time it a little early.
I think that's the thing, is that you have to now start working, especially if everyone comes in on lap 61. I think you really have to start thinking about pitting like, not just like 1 or 2 laps early. I think you've got to start working with the assumption of pit like 5, 6, 7, 8 laps earlier.
Yeah, and and what does that do for the cars that are well out of cycle as well? What are they going to do here? Are they still up for a four stopper? If you remember, cars like the 31 and 8, they're kind of on this weird strategy.
Yeah, they're off cycle.
Maybe even the 52 of Rachel Cole is kind of a little bit further back, but is only about 3 or so laps behind Nihale's strategy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's going to be very interesting to see what they do here, because this is something that's kind of, it's not set in stone, really. I don't think anybody really knows what the optimal strategy is going to be until we get into the run after this one.
Yeah. Like, you need to get to that third stop to see where you're going to go from there, I think. This is intriguing.
Everyone's just kind of chilling right now, though. It's not really there's not really many battles going on because, well, I think they're just trying to run laps.
Yeah, right now I think they're just focused on getting to that next stop.
They're trying to run laps to the final stop, to this next stop, and at that point, then you start formulating strategy. Malixon's been slowly gaining a little bit on Harina every lap here. She was 3.14 back. Harina was 3.14 back this last time. Now she's 3.20. So just a tiny gain by the 23.
But yeah, we've seen the undercut isn't super powerful here, but we haven't seen it employed on that kind of level yet.
I think the undercut is gonna work if you stretch it out for a lot longer than 1 lap.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like if we see it on the scale of, we see it on that bigger scale, I think that might actually be a thing, where the undercut might be powerful enough to make it work.
Marisha Vebelson 4th. You got Handstrom, Yanaga, Carly Byrne. There's Zadi Stoneman. There's Yukovic. There's Delade. There's Alicantes. There's Yatica. Davison, Yiria, Nihale, Ajarsaraj, Wesco, Reister, Waterton. For Dira Reister, at least she's still running.
Yeah.
If you're that 17 car, you're just glad you're still running, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a disaster of a season for her. 30 cars still on the lead lap right now. If there was to be a caution, Abby Little would be the free pass car at the moment. There's a mess back here.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mess here.
It's a bit of different pit cycle shenanigans going on there, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what you should do here on strategy. If you pit here, you'd have to if you pit here, you'd have to make it 27 laps, I think. Yeah, 27 laps, which is just not in the realm of possibility. And I mean, what? We think they can go 23 at the maximum. And I think the 23 pitted lap 43. So, in theory, the latest she could pit is 66. So she'd have to still go another 22 after that. And I'm not really sure as to the feasibility of that. Harina did gain a little bit that lap. There's Waterton fighting with AWSCO. Waterton winner at Kentucky earlier in the year. Ooh, she goes well wide.
13 goes rallying.
Oh, we got a crash.
No!
It's the leader. Malikson's run into the lap car of Ijavida.
That's gonna give the lead to the 34 back.
What happened?
Looks like the lap car of Isa Javira has come calling for another soul. And that's taken to 23 now. Both of the leaders have had issues with lap cars now.
And we got cars coming down.
Here we go.
There's Handstrom, there's Yanaga that are in.
Yeah, at this rate, yeah, you will definitely... Yeah, this is about 20 laps, so yes, you will definitely need to make another stop. They will make one more stop at about lap 82 or so.
Well, this has changed everything, really.
We'll have about... It'll be pretty short run to the finish. Well within the fuel cycle. Oh.
See if we can figure out what happened.
Yeah. They're going side by side through this front stretch chicane. They're just tapped too.
Alexa
Not
just tapped the
much
outside
contact,
wall.
but enough to give the lead back to the 34 of Arena.
Enough to spin the 23 out. Enough for the 23 to not be able to hang on to it and just tap the outside wall. All right, now is when the strategy game truly begins. And now also is curious, how much time are they going to spend to repair that damage on the 23 car,
Yes.
if they decide to repair damage at all? And they're lucky that nobody else went sliding through the chicane there.
Yeah.
Harina's staying out another lap. So is Malikson.
There we
Tosima's
go.
in.
Tosima coming in. Lap 62, we'll see. Well, the 9 and 99 stayed out a little bit later, so they're probably able to
I
go
think
just
a
bit
lot of these
more.
cars may be trying to stretch it.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to get to... lap 66 minimum?
66.
That's like...
I think 65 or 66
65
minimum.
at
I'm not sure.
most.
I'm not sure you can do that.
65 is really stretching it, though. I feel like if you're going to go 23 to the end without a caution, that seems a bit sketchy.
I think at this point you just go for it without even getting a call. I think at this point you just give up. I think you shouldn't really go for it,
Yeah.
even if you get a caution.
Yeah, that's what I would think as well.
Like short pit here, and then short pit on the last stop as well. Maybe pit about 7 laps early or something like that. 5 to 6 to 7 laps early. Just to like maybe get a little bit ahead. It's not tremendously easy to pass. We've seen that here, so. Harina's in. So is Malikson. They both come in. There's Vevelst staying out.
Yep. Whoa!
And spinning herself out.
there's the rash decision. Would cost her a few seconds, but bit of a silly thing to be doing in the middle of a mid-cycle like that.
Delata's in. There's these two. And they are spending quite a bit of extra time on that 23 car right now. There we go. She's out, but they spent about 7 seconds about 7 seconds extra. Fixing damage, and you know what that might do? 93 may jump to 23 here.
Go.
Tosima is going to jump Malikson. Now that changes quite a bit of the complexion of this. Remember, Tosima got out front at Sonoma on strategy as well.
Yes, you did.
And she managed to lead most of that most of the end of that race and win. She's in a spot here where now she's up to second. There's the car officially scored as the leader. It's the 99. The car that will be the leader at next time by the line will be Vevelst. She's coming to pit road. Same with Byrne.
The 9, both of them on the same strategy as they were before.
Yep.
Just outside of the fuel window here, just a lap or so.
Vevelst will cross the line with the lead, so she will actually get scored with a lap lead. That's a bonus point.
Yeah.
And the 98.
And issues for the 98.
98 has some sort of issue.
Yeah.
Harina's back out front. Vevelst sitting fourth. I believe she's going to get jumped by Handstrom and Yanaga.
Yeah. There's anybody on track now. There's the 98 still going. Careful. I don't think there's anybody else that hasn't stopped.
I don't believe so.
That's and I think that's confirmed that everyone will have to do one extra stop here.
Ellie?
Yeah, it looks like Ava's got some, like, engine issues. It might not be enough to take her out of the race, but yeah, that's what caused that, so.
very unfortunate for Ajar Siraj. She's one of those drivers who's really good on these road courses, and another engine issue for her at a road course. Remember, she had a pretty similar issue at Bathurst. And she finished the race, but she was multiple laps down at the end of it because she was multiple laps down at the end of the race because of her engine problems at Bathurst. So they will most likely have to make one more stop. I don't see any way they can save enough fuel.
I don't see anyone doing more than 23 laps, and everyone's got to at least do 24. So unless there's some miraculous extra fuel tank in there, I don't think they're gonna make it.
6.27, the gap from Harina to Tosima.
Well,
They are working on the 98 on pit road.
Well, 34's been handed a nice, quite a decent gap here. Not that the 23 had to come in on a slow
98's
stop.
done. They took her out. They've retired the car for Ajar Siraj, so she's going to be done for the day. You know, I would say that could have been her last shot at a decent run, but she's run pretty well on the ovals, too. Remember Charlotte, whoa, Handstrom goes way wide. Remember
46 through, yeah.
Remember Charlotte, remember Michigan as well for Ajar Siraj.
Mm-hmm.
Vlad trying to fight off Jukovic, but she can't do it. Alacantes is up in a 9th. Yanaga's just taken 4th away from Handstrom. There's the 2 car of Vijavada, who's fairly slow right now. Well, both the 23 and the 34 have had their issues with lap cars in this one. We'll see who's the faster car now, though. Because now, between these two, you've sandwiched the 93 in between, and the 93 is really fast. She just gained a whole second on Harina. So now Tosima's starting to make some noise here late in the going. And if you're one of those drivers in the field who's been wary of where Tosima's run all season, that might be something to be even more worried about.
Yeah. Well, see, these next few laps are gonna be crucial here. She can cut the gap down to like 4 seconds or so. Then I think everything's on the line there.
Yeah, and Malikson didn't gain very much that time either. So that was not a Harina having a bad lap. That was Tosima having a really good lap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, it's all going to come down to that final stop. And you know what I might wonder is if on that final stop, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they might take 2 tires.
Yeah, this is true actually. That a 2-tire stop could be on the cards as well. You can effectively short fuel as well. Why not look at taking 2 tires? Good point.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's really the smartest thing to do, but it is an option that's on the table.
Yeah.
Carly Burns has gotten by Vebelst for 6th.
I mean, if you're coming in late, that might be the way to go, yeah.
Harina crossed the line. There's Tosima across. Tosima gained a decent bit. Not as much that time. She gained 3/10, but that's still a decent amount. Either way for Malikson, this is going to be a pretty good points day, and she is going to gain on Nihale. And thus Nihale can magically summon a podium finish, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that would probably require a caution. But we had one caution to start this race off on lap number 1, and that's it.
That's been it, yeah.
It's been clean and green ever since then. Well, I'm not sure if it's been clean, but it's
really
been green.
Clean, but yeah, we've had incidents, we've had mechanical failures, but none of them have warranted a caution so far, and that's where we stand right now.
Mika Harina from Atlantic Racing looks to do the Daytona sweep for that team.
Yep.
On the oval and the road course. Arinya Tosima, meanwhile, looks to take 2 wins, technically 3 wins in a row if you want to count the All-Star race in that. Oh, Tosima gained a lot there, down to 3.9.
Under 4 seconds.
She gained a whole second that lap.
Yeah, this is interesting now. 93's got pace. 71 coming in. She can make it to the end. Whoa, 55 around.
Delad's around, manages to keep it straight.
Just tapped the wall on the outside a little bit. Bit of damage, but no harm done, really.
Not too much harm.
Yeah, even lighter tap than the 23 had there. But yeah, that 93. This is getting interesting now. The intrigue is up now.
Might be a car that we hadn't really thought about all day. That's able to surprise her way up here. Well, now I think you're in that window where you can. If you pit here, you'll be able to make it to the end.
Yeah, you'll be able to make it. 71 already came in. She's a lap down, so she's pretty much a non-factor. 26 has come in.
26 has come down.
Full service, of course. 3 has come in.
3, Barino's in. I think these cars were already off cycle.
Already off cycle, yeah. But now, with the way things are shaken up, those are the first cars that can make it on fuel. And those were, at least the 26 was a lead lap car.
Yeah.
I think the 3 was just on the tail end of the lead lap.
And now if you're Harina, how wary are you of that 93?
Yeah. Now where are you of that 93? Where do you plan your last stop, basically?
There's a lot of things going on in that 34 team. She gained a 2/10 that time.
Yep. A couple tenths a lap is good enough now.
Well, the most important thing for that 93 is going to be that last stop. There's Jukovic and Alicantes for 9th. There's a couple times where there's a couple times where Harina's been a fast car and had a chance to win, but she just couldn't close it out. I think back to Las Vegas, where she was leading very late, but Raisha Vebels just beat her on strategy. Do you think that 34 team is going to play the strategy very carefully here? They've already been beaten on strategy.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have to here. Problem is, there's quite a lot on the line for the 34 right now.
Oh, the other thing is, the other thing for the 34 is, do we really know what the right strategy is?
That's also the thing. I don't really know either. I feel like coming in kind of down my instinct says to come in kind of down the middle and split this last run up a bit, but also, I don't know if that's the right strategy. Maybe that encourages the 93 to stay out as long as possible and take a two-tire stop at the end. That might throw another wrench into things.
Saying coming in the middle of the run, that would put us about 5 to 6 laps away from that stop.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to be done? I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone just tries to run as long as possible as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 2 tire stops. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we even saw just fuel only.
Yeah.
Just do a splash and go
Maybe
at the
try
end.
to splash, yeah. There isn't that much tire wear. There is some tire wear, but
There is tire wear, but there's not a lot.
There's enough. Well, it's not enough where it's an absolute must-have
Yeah.
when you're coming in. So that might encourage teams to try to gamble a little bit, take 2 or maybe 0 tires.
Vebels has just dropped behind Adi Stoneman. Here's this mix back here. Yurio goes way wide. The point I'd start being worried about for Harina is if she's going down that back straightaway and that wide camera shot catches that 93 in the same shot, in the same frame, that's when I'm going to start to worry about her being too close. Right now, she's still got a pretty solid 3.5 second lead. But it's shrinking. Tosima is closing. And she's not closing particularly slowly either. She's closing pretty quickly.
Yeah, taking off quite a bit. Taking off quite a chunk of the lead every lap here. She's already taken off big chunks, but now she's starting to just kind of take away a few tenths every time, which is good enough.
She gained again. I think if another thing is, I'm noticing that 93 with that line, what the 34 is doing, she tries to dive it right to the bottom, right off the front chicane.
Yeah.
The 93 is not doing that. 93 is letting it ease in.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of she's not forcing it down to the bottom in the front on the trioval. Oh, the 18 and 62 have both spun.
Yep. It's like those two got into each other there. I don't think anybody else was involved.
Don't believe so. That's going to let the 92 pass them both for position.
Yeah.
55 has also gotten by them. .64 just tapped the wall there. Looks like the 20 of Abriella's come down. 27 and 60, 31, 13.
Yeah. Those are the cars that were well off cycle.
They're off cycle
beforehand.
already, so.
But now they can make it to the end, so.
They can make it to the end from here.
That was most likely their last stop.
That is very likely
It'll
their
be
last
interesting to see
stop.
it'll be. They're all of these guys are still taking 4 tires and fuel. That makes sense. They're running 16 more laps, but as the laps tick down and some of these other drivers coming in, as some of these other drivers come in, we'll have to see what their decision making is.
Now the 34's caught up to a lap car, though. The 60 of AWSCO. She did gain a little bit of a draft there from that 60 in front of her. The 93 wasn't able to do that. 23 started to be reeled in by the 46 of Yanaga.
Yeah, Yanaga gutting for a podium position here. Yeah, 34 is able to, make use of the high drag on the 60 car.
Yeah. That's definitely helping Harina right now.
Mm-hmm.
But how much is it going to help and how much is it going to hurt? You're starting to see the 93 is the 93 is getting closer. .34 can't make the move yet on the 60.
34 probably needs to dispatch the 60 reasonably quick.
She needed to get by the 60 a while ago.
Yeah, looks like the 8 came in and took 1.5 cans of fuel.
Yeah, 8 car took 1.5 cans.
The 60, I saw the 60 there took 1 can of fuel. That's interesting. I don't know what that's about. Ooh,
Oh,
bit loose, but just
Bit
about to get
really
just
loose.
about cleared. A bit hairy, but got the job done in the end.
it worked. But Tosuma's closed in again. Down to 3 seconds, and the 60's gone underneath the 34 now.
Nah, that's not gonna help.
That's not going to help at all.
34 might have to check up. He does.
She has to check up here.
That's probably taken off about 3/10 right there.
And
on
that's
its
the
own.
worst spot.
46.
Here comes Yanaga for third.
And clear.
She's cleared Malikson. And now Tosuma is within eye shot of Harina.
Yeah. Tosuma can see that lead.
Oh!
Whoa!
17 of Reister.
Two cars spinning out, all good. Both of them cleared out. 17 has got some major smoke coming out though. I don't know if that's cause or effect though.
Well, it looks like another devastating result for Reister. I feel like you couldn't give her a good result if you gave it to her on a platter at this point. Just something would happen.
Arena now still behind the 60.
She's just retired.
Yeah.
And yet now that's the thing. Now the 93's within eye shot on that last
Yeah,
thing.
she's there now.
What's up, Ellie? What happened?
It looked like the damage on the 17 was enough to take her out of the race and retire her. It was pretty bad.
34 still stuck behind on the chicane. That's the 93's just right there. Stuck on 34 can't get around.
Look at where the 93 is now. 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, she's right there. 34 finally to the inside.
34 to the inside here.
Took long enough, I think. 60's gonna get out of the way. 93's gonna be side by side.
That's going to help Harina.
That's gonna help, yeah. That's gonna give an extra second or so, probably, once things shake out. The problem is there's a car in front of Harina
Now there's another lap car that's just come out of the pits, too.
Yeah. And that's
Cole
the
just came out of the pit
Rachel
road.
Cole, yeah. Cole, another one of those Cole was another one of those drivers that were about.
Oh, the 34 goes a little wide.
Crucially, Cole was about 3 or so laps ahead of Nihil, who's kind of started that mainline strategy. Both of them on the outside now, where leaders are stuck.
The 93's there, though. Look at this. She is here on the 34, and she's pushing her on the outside.
Didn't even need to get to the pit cycle. Now what do you do? 93 might try to take the lead right here, but there's a few cars in the way. Yeah, nothing right now. We'll see what happens in the front stretch chicane though. Harina looking.
Harina's trying to get underneath the 52.
Here we go. Careful now. Wheel hopped a little bit, but just gets enough to get it done. 93 now stuck behind the 52. Where does she go?
She looks outside.
It's outside.
Stays behind the 52.
Behind, though, yeah. Crucially, that makes it so she doesn't have to check up. Gives her room to move around. Maybe try looking around at another point here. Because if she did have to check up, she might have ended up behind the 60 as well, and that would have been even worse.
Yeah. There's this fight for third. Yanaga, Malikson, Handstrom all back here.
Back off to fight for another day. That's what the 93's done so far. 34 pulling a little bit ahead. No. say 5 car lengths ahead of the 52 now. 60 running a bit wide. That'll give some breathing room for Tosama. Well, this is direct the 46 and 23 as well. To
Yeah, the
within
46
7
and
seconds.
they're closing as well. What do you do? The 52 took just 2 tires on this last stop.
Yeah, that would be it. That's the thing
But
there.
she did a lot of damage repair
Lot
as
of
well.
damage
I think she
repair,
got
yeah.
forced into the pits, I think.
Yeah, might have been forced in, but 2 tires. That seems to signal that we might have gotten to the point where a 2-tire stop is the way to go here. We'll see if the 93, what the 93 and 34 do here. Maybe they're all just staying out as long as possible, just to try to get a splash and dash in the end. That is the way you're gonna lose the least time on pit road. Up behind the 52 here. Still stays behind. The
Still
52
sticks
has
behind.
This 52 has enough tire to hold her off. This is the real intriguing stuff here.
52 checks
52
out
does
though.
run wide
52
and
look.
will let the 93
She
now.
goes wide, so now the 93 is through.
93 is clear.
It's gonna come down to that stop.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to the stop, I think. 93 will probably drag the lead back to about a second.
Yanaga's closed the gap down to 6 seconds between her
Under
and
6, 5.93.
it's
that time around,
5.93
yeah.
between
It's
her
gonna
and
be
the
about-
34.
It's probably going to be about a second separating the top 2, heading into that last stop. So it's all of this is going to be on the pit crew.
I don't think we even know who the top 2 is going to be going into the pit stop.
This is true, actually, yeah.
Well, we know who the top 2 are going to be. We just don't know the order.
The order, yes. That's what I mean, is that...
But them getting through that lap traffic really dragged the 93 in.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to drag her in even further very soon here.
P3 right on the bumper now. Nobody else coming in yet.
Nobody's in yet. Handstrom's gotten by Malikson. 19's up to 4th. There's these two. Still half a second the gap now between Harina and Tosama. 5.3 was the gap to Yanaga.
No more takers yet.
I think they're going all. I think they're going to go all the way.
Yeah, I think they seem to all want to go all the way here. Try to get as many laps as possible and do a splash and dash at the very end of the race.
Well, we reached our Windows 11 to go. Mika Harina leads Arinia Tosama. Yenfa Yanaga's 5.3 seconds back. Arlen Handstrom, Yappy Malikson, Carly Byrne, Adi Stoneman, Marisha Velst, Halis Jukovic, and Michele Yatica is the top 10 at the moment, but
This battle is also heating up there.
This
battle
could-
for the top 10.
This could everything could change very soon. This battle is getting all over the place. Delot is trying to make a move on Yatica.
This will be for 10th.
Tosama is there on Harina.
Yeah. She's caught up.
And to think that Tosama got here without even getting that caution.
Yeah. Didn't need a caution. Didn't even need a massive undercut. She's just there on raw pace.
Yeah. I think that says a lot about where Tosama is.
In form is just
Here we
the
go.
least of it.
She's gone to the outside.
34 tried to close the door, not quite there, but she keeps the inside line, the all-important inside line for turn 1. 93 arcing it way out. Maybe trying to just tuck in behind the 34. Yeah, that's what she is going to do. Lots of dust being kicked up here.
I think she arcs it. I think she arced it wide there to just make sure she didn't have to check up.
Yeah, tuck behind that 34 and just stay.
The 19's pitted.
Here we go.
She's taking right sides only.
Right sides and one.
2 tires.
Fuel.
Well, there's your play. Now there's where we're getting that strategy. It's kicking in now.
Looking to the apron to pass the 2.
Tosima went wide. She went off the track.
Well wide.
And she's lost a lot of ground.
That's a lot of time lost. That might be crucial.
Nahale's in.
Nihale's in. That was the first of our takers earlier on. Right side, 1 can of fuel as
2
well.
tires there. $10 to go.
See if the 34. We'll see what the 34 does here.
I think if you're the 30, I think if I'm the 34, I come in now,
Yeah,
right now.
come in now. 93 probably just responds. We'll see. 34? Nope.
Nope,
stays
staying out. 93's
there
in.
we go.
93's coming in.
Trying the undercut here. 46 coming in as well. Second and third all coming in. Right side's 1. I assume 2.
Oh,
whoa,
contact.
46 made contact with the 32.
Contact on pit road between the 46 and the 32.
32 was just coming out of pit lane there. We'll see what they do. I'd assume 2 tires. Looks like it's
2 tires for Tosima.
2 tires and enough fuel to make it to the end. Gotta be under 9 seconds, I think.
9.06.
That's right on it.
Alacante's coming in. There's Handstrom right there.
Yeah, Handstrom fighting with these cars on the edge of the top 10. Now what if you are the 34? You do have a gap built up. You do have a gap built up from the 93's mistake there.
She has a bit of a gap, but keep in mind now the 93 also doesn't have anybody around her.
Yeah, 93 has clean air.
93 has clean air, and the 93's been better in clean air than the 34 has.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a show of pace.
Yeah.
How long does Harina stay out?
Does Harina try to make it with a splash? I don't know if she has enough fuel to make that though. To make a splash, and I think she needs to come in pretty soon.
Well, she's almost at her window. Here she is. She comes in.
Crucial stop here.
I think she's got to cut the difference here as well. You got to make it so that when you come in here, when she comes in, don't give that 93 a lot of laps to make up ground on you, especially when the 93 has been better in clean air than you.
Yes, yeah, that is crucial.
So she's going to limit it to just 1 lap a gain for the 93.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, want to minimize the undercut. 34 coming in. Same strategy.
2 tires.
2 tires and fuel. Same thing as the 93 team and everyone else so far.
9.33.
A little bit slower.
Slower on the stop.
A few tenths extra. 34 coming out here. 93 just crossed the line, I think. 93 will... 34 will come out with the lead here.
34 will come out with the lead.
Okay.
99 is third. I don't think the 99 is pitted yet.
No, yeah, I don't think the 99 has stopped. The 99 has stayed out. The 99 and 9 have been staying out quite a while. Here we go. We're getting half a cans now.
92 didn't take tires at all.
We're seeing cars not take tires now. We're seeing cars take half a can. Now we're starting to see a split in strategy. And I think that's what the 99 is probably going to do. and the 9, I believe. 9 and 99 will probably end up doing that. Interesting, yeah.
I think the 99 may have pitted already, actually.
Really?
I think so. I think it's...
Coming early. That would explain it. That would...
Nope,
No?
she definitely hasn't. Okay.
No, okay, so, yeah, I think the 99 is due for a stop. 99 have been staying later out. I've been staying out later than everyone else, to be fair.
Yeah.
So this is pretty normal. This is normal for them.
What can Tosima do to get to Harina?
I mean, we've seen that she's been able to do it, and she's not that far out again.
Malikson led that lap.
Now to the ledge,
Carly
coming in
Burns
now.
still on track. Oh, Tosima's really close.
Nope, 99 is still there. Is still
Rebels
staying
is still
out.
staying out.
99 is on something. What she is doing
The
is
gap was under a second
Yeah.
between the 34 and the
what
93.
she is doing is making sure that she only needs to take at most half a can of fuel.
Right sides for Malikson.
Malcolmson taking right sides, okay.
There's apparently a spinner or something back here.
Davison in as well.
22's in. These two are so close.
Right there.
After about 85 laps of green flag racing at Daytona Road Course, it's probably still going to come down to under a second, maybe even right down to that final corner to determine who wins this thing.
All down to pace now. Can the 93 find a way around?
She's really closing up in the draft here.
Yeah, there's the high drag package doing its magic again.
I think that 93 is really good under braking.
Yeah.
She manages to gain a lot on the 34 under braking and really on exit.
Yeah, that is a big gain. Much bigger than before. Looking now. Oh dear, they're going to be side by side.
They're going to be side by side into the chicane.
Careful now. Don't hit the curbs too hard. Oh, contact.
Contact there, and Tosima's going to muscle her way by.
Both cars kept it straight though. That was probably the least damaging contact I've seen from anyone that hopped over the curbs. Good work by the two good work by the two leaders to keep their cars straight. But now Harina's gonna be in the catbird seat looking to pass.
Byrne was on pit road. Vebels is still out there.
This is an unbelievable run by Vebels. I don't know how she's managed to stretch it out this far.
Actually, no, Byrne is still on track too.
Yes, Byrne hasn't come in either. Neither of them have come in.
These two are trying to run it as long as they can. I don't think they can make it. Harina's way wide. There she goes.
And
And
it's
Tosima.
that decided the race.
That might be it. Handstrom has passed Malikson. That's effectively third. Assuming the 9 and 99 come in.
Yeah. I'd assume the 999 are coming in, but only for a splash, though. That's gonna cost them some time, but not a lot. Not nearly as much as these guys.
The 9 had a 20-second lead. She's staying out still.
This is unbelievable by Carly Bird.
Again,
I don't think, I don't think, even if she comes in and takes a splash, I don't think she'll be able to retain the lead, because 20 seconds is a long time, but this is an unbelievable stretch of fuel.
is Vebels going to do the same thing?
I'd assume so. ERR is cooking up some insane strategy right now.
Vebels is staying out.
If they make it to lap 86 or so, I would expect them to have come in by then. But these two teams, the 9 to 99, have been stretching the fuel, have been stretching their fuel every single cycle. They have consistently been the last car to come in
Yeah.
at every pit cycle. So it's not all that surprising that they've been able to stay out for this long.
I think they're hoping for a quick splash and go.
Yeah.
Quick enough to get them out maybe in second or third.
Maybe second or third, yeah. Put him in shot of getting a podium, which would still be a great result there.
Especially for Carly Byrne, who's needed some good luck. Tosuma's now got a 3-second advantage on Harina.
Yeah. I think Tosuma's just got to pace herself now. 34 seems to have used up her stuff.
Yeah, Harina's used it up. I think she tried pushing it a little too much, and Tosuma is gonna go 2, maybe 3 in a row. It depends on what you count as going 2 in a row, as 3 in a row.
Yeah, one of those was a non-points race.
Yeah. What does Byrne do? She's pitting. She's in.
There we go, coming in now.
All right, crucial time here for Byrne.
We'll see if this is a splash. Most likely, I think, with only...
Byrne's got the furthest down pit stall.
Yeah,
remember,
from the lead,
because
yeah.
she got the because she was on the pole.
On the pole, yes. There we go. All the way up front, yeah.
Oh, she's not gonna beat the 93.
No, she's not going to beat the 93, no. Whoa! Where did the 23 come from?
I think the 23 just cut the chicane. Pebbles is
There's
in.
the 99 coming in. What in the world? Is that sanctioned? There's the 93.
There's the 9.
This is closer than I thought. The 93 is going to come out with the lead.
93's got the
But
lead.
the 9 might take second.
The 9 could be second.
It might be an ERR 1-2 on the cars. The problem is the 9 has no tires.
The 9 doesn't have tires, but the 34 only has 2 tires.
Yeah. So the 34 has 2 tires, and the other 2 have been through some grass. But the 9 right now sits in second place. It's an ERR 1-2 as things stand. It has been unbelievable strategy by this team to get themselves in this position now. Because for the longest time, they looked like cars on the fringe of the top 10, but through the overcut and this strategy, they found themselves in a podium position.
Yeah. And this is something that Carly Byrne's needed. She's been running pretty good at the road courses. She got the pole here. She hadn't actually led a lap until this cycle, so she did pick up that bonus point. But now that might be the one thing that stops Tosuma. 99's out. There's where she cycled.
Yeah, and with a...
She cycled in 8th, so...
Yeah, and with a teammate in between the 93 and 34, that's, pretty good. Pretty good place to be if you're the 93 of Tosuma.
4 laps to go, and this is the first lap that Tosuma has officially led all race. There's Malikson and Handstrom. And interestingly enough, look who's gotten into the top 10. It's Nihale.
Nihale, hello there. It's the usual suspects.
Nihale just has done it again where she's managed to turn a very mediocre day into a top 10.
Yeah. And what about that 18?
Perry Alicantes.
Started in 30th, as I mentioned
I don't
earlier.
believe Nihale will retain the points lead.
Probably not. The 23 and 64 are very close in points.
The 23, well, they were split by, they were separated by 2 points.
Yeah, and the 93 has led laps, of course, as well.
Yeah.
It's an extra point on top of that.
3 seconds was the gap last time between Tosuma and Byrne at the line. 2.99 technically. We have received word that because Malikson gave the place back to the 19, she will not be penalized for cutting the chicane. Tosuma leading. Burn second. Harina's challenging for third. Harina's challenging that's for second, but Harina's in third right now. 2 to go. Harina to the outside on Burn. Burn slowly losing ground. Can Burn hang on to second? Will Harina take that away from her? Or maybe we'll see one of these two cars take that spot away. There's Nihil and Alicantes.
18's been sliding out of that chicane for a few laps now.
Here comes Nihil to the inside on Alicantes for the 9th spot. Nihil takes it. But Arinya Tosuma really just came out of nowhere in this one. I thought that it was I thought she was too far back to make a difference. I thought she would have needed a caution. She's gotten to the lead. She's gotten up here purely on pace, without any pit strategy, without any absurd pit strategy. She's here all because she has a fast car. And now she's looking at taking the white flag here to go 3 in a row if you want to count the All-Star race. One lap to go for Tosuma. The advantage on Burn, 3.67 seconds. Harina's looking to the inside, but I think that's her last real shot there at dive bombing the 9, and she's not going to be able to do it. Maybe. They're going to be these two side by side into the horseshoe for second. What a run it's been. What a run for Tosuma. How about that? She's only led 4 laps, but she's going to win by almost 4 seconds here.
Yeah, this is an unbelievable run by the 93 at the end here.
That car just really picked it up in the final run. Tosuma gonna come to the line, the checkered flag waving one more time through that through the front stretch chicane. There's a battle for third going on here with Handstrom and Harina. As that goes on, Arinya Tosuma will be the winner at Daytona Road Course and go 2 in a row on the road courses, her second road course win of the year, and lock up an ERR 1-2 finish.
Burn holding off the 34 of Mika Harina right at the death there to secure that 1-2. It's Harina in third, fourth will be Arlen Handstrom, and fifth will be Yappy Malikson with another good run in that 23 red racing car.
Stoneman finishes 7th.
Gotta wait here. There's the 99.
Vebelston 8th. There's Nihil 9th and Alicantes 10th.
Delod will finish 11th. Iria and Davidson there. Lori Schliesenbach riding out the top 15. Good run on that off-cycle strategy. So is the 31 there, finishing 17th. And the 26, I think, slightly off cycle as well. Ooh, that was a close finish there between the Actually, no, I think one of those cars was one lap down, but I think the 3 and one of the other, and whoever that was ahead. Yeah, it's the 3 and 27 that was fighting.
Well, it's been the summer of Tosima.
Yeah, it really has.
She's got 3 wins on the season, 4 if you want to count the All-Star race, and all of the last 3 in this week. Including a win at the World Center of Racing in Daytona Beach, Florida. Well, there's your finishing order. What a drive it was for Tosima. It didn't look like it did not look like she was going to be anywhere really near the front until the last run, really, and then she started to pick it up. And
I mean, she looked like about a top 5, top 10 car for most of the way, but in that last run, she really just picked it up onto another level and was in a class of her own at the end there. And you know, with that, this insane run of form just continues for the 93 car. And yeah, another good run by Carly Byrne as well. Fell back a little bit, as I said, but was able to bring it home in second through some great strategy work by the Evans Ross Racing team there. Overall, a pretty good day by the at least 3 of the ERR cars, and even the 39 with their problems came home in the top 20.
Yeah. Talverson had a pretty solid recovery after getting off. She got off cycle early, but she managed to move her way back up to
getting off cycle,
finish
getting
20th.
out in front of the field early on there.
Especially considering, there wasn't a single yellow in this race outside of that lap 1 yellow for the 42's engine.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good runs for some drivers like Stoneman, who's needed to finish off a good run lately. She got exactly that. Carly Byrne, that's one that's definitely worth shouting out. 2nd place for Carly Byrne. That's her best finish all year. For Harina, this is still good for her, even in that playoff race.
Mm-hmm.
And Nihale and Malikson still continue to duke it out for the points lead without having a win.
Yeah, I think Malikson will take that now.
Yeah.
How close it was, and Malikson finishing 4 positions ahead, and with the laps led point.
Well, with all that being said, we're going to take you back to the FanDuel Fan Studio for the post-race show, where Eddie and Ellie will have their analysis on how this race finished and how they feel about our next little bit of races. Eddie, Ellie, you two, take it away down there in the studio.
Well, I almost had it. I knew to an extent that Malikson and Harina, something could always happen to them. Something did. As it turns out, Arini Tosimo was in the perfect place at the perfect time, took clear advantage, made the right pit strategy, and it's a 4-second win for the 93 car, making it technically her 2nd straight points pain win. We call it her 3rd straight win because she did win the All-Star race. The 93 car is just on a different level right now, and I mean, you look at the top 10, a lot of other things happening too. Mika Harina and Oedi Stoneman are going to be possibly moving, if not into playoff spots provisionally, at least really caught up to Nietzsche Garnstone, who did not have a great day. Jens Fianaga starts trying to put together a points position really there by having a good run. Arlen Hanstrom and Yappy Malikson, same old out of those two. Malikson will probably be the leader in the point standings after tonight. Nihale didn't have the best of days, or at least didn't really lead a lap like we would expect out of her. So I think based on that point, it's going to be Malikson having about a 2-point lead on Nihale, the regular season championship. Yeah, that's just me reading off the results there, Ellie. What did you think of the race?
Well, I thought that it was a really fun race to watch, and I think I did point out you know, Yappy Malixon was in a good position, but I thought she was gonna win. But if something were to happen, I was like, the 93 is gonna take advantage. She's in a perfect position, and she did that, and it was pretty impressive. But the whole thing with Carly Byrne, she kind of came out of nowhere, or at least none of us were paying attention to her because we were so distracted with what was going on between Tosama and Harina, and we just saw them came out of nowhere. It was very interesting. But I think, honestly, it wasn't too bad for Nihil. She still got a top 10.
I mean, yeah, there's not much else to say there. That's her 11th top 10 of the season. Malixon and Handstrom make into the double digits in terms of top 10s on the season. You did point out Arini Tosama when I asked if there's anyone who you thought could beat Malixon or Harina.
Yeah.
You did say it was Tosama. And in the end, I mean, Malixon gets messed up by a lap car. I'm sure Isa Javada just trying to get some more attention, I guess, would be what I would use there. And Mika Harina just, I mean, didn't really have it.
Yeah.
I think is the best part. Just, you know, late run, Osimo was the best, and things paid off. She gets to the front. She wins the race pretty handily. Carly Byrne, I think, was an interesting strategy choice, but I understand it for Evans Roth Racing. You got a driver moving up into the lead. You kind of don't want to mess with that, but maybe give someone else, maybe, you know, handed Carly Byrne a little bit of a different strategy, and she took it to a podium spot, which is her first podium finish of the season. She hadn't had a top 5. It's all the way back at Road America, but with some strategy, puts herself in second. I think Evans Roth Racing really showed that they had really a lockdown on strategy in this race. Just in terms of both getting Tosama past 2 cars that were 7 seconds clear of her, to putting Carly Byrne second, to having, I mean, Mauricia Velbles basically ran top 10 all day. We didn't really talk about her because she just happened to be too far out, but she held that car in the top 10 pretty much the entirety of the race.
Yeah, true.
It was a great day overall for Evans Roth Racing. They're certainly going to be able to take that and move on. And Harley is catching up. She's not catching up very fast. She's still 56 points back of the cutoff, at least to my knowledge.
We'll get an update on that soon.
We'll get an update on that soon, but the point being, she is slowly making up ground to where a couple weeks ago you could have realistically said, like, she has no chance to. She might have one if she can put up numbers like this.
Yeah.
And again, moving away from the road courses might be a detriment to her. She was definitely not the best when it came to speedways, but she's going to be someone to watch to move on, because she could pull off an amazing comeback and put all 4 Evans Roth cars in the playoff.
Yeah.
You're really big for that, which would be, again, a big thing for that team. I do not believe that it's a team, at least a 4-car team yet, that has put all their cars in the playoffs. Red Racing is still kind of waiting on, I believe, Amani Wandayo. Has been having a rough season. Mason Parker Motorsports has seen Alicia Byrne work her way toward, keep working her way around. Atlantic Racing, again, as we've mentioned. Mika Harina, I think, moves into a playoff provisional, so provisionally Atlantic Racing has 4 drivers in there, and then Southwest Racing, well, we don't need to talk about them any further. I don't know
what's going on with them.
Or whatever the heck happened. Again, Yanniga held on to 6th, so I think you pointed out was they really just wanted that top 10 for Yanniga. Yanniga got it, and I think that's going to move her up. My stats person is telling me that she has 27 points now on the cut line. Actually moved ahead of Janet Parkins, which is huge for her, because at this point, for Yanniga, Parkins, Harina, you don't know who's going to be able to win races. You got to put as many cars in between you and that cut line as possible.
Yeah.
And Harina is going to be a real help to Yanniga, assuming she can hold on to it. She's had some great runs, but she's also had some races where she's just had, the worst of luck. So we'll see how that goes for her in the future. But, what else is there to say? Arena Tostama, you deserve your flowers. I have no clue how it went from a 7 point gap to a win. I feel like there really easily could have been Mika Harina just getting around Malixon and that being it, but Evans Ross Racing put up a fight and
Yeah.
everything paid off for that team.
ERR was
I think
really something tonight.
I believe the update is putting her 7 points above the cut line over Stoneman. Garnstone's middle of the road day. Let's put Harina into the top spot. It's going to be interesting to watch, though, because if the points are shaking out to be anything, you've got Harina, Stoneman, Garnstone, Hiria, and Schleichenbach all within 20 points of each other, and Janet Parkins just trying to outrun them in that Team Flurvent car. Team Flurvent. Certainly one of just those types of teams. I mean, the worst part for Janet Parkins is she's had 4 straight finishes. Highest of those was 29th. She is not what you would call a road course ringer, albeit she had a great run at Montreal. I would assume that's based on strategy, but she's had a good start, but she's starting to sort of fall off. So is Nietzsche Garnstone. So Parkins is going to have to really fight for this spot. I think, I mean, this is going to be the point to watch. I'm sure we're going to also want to watch Mallison and Nighthale duel it out because they're going to be going for that regular season championship on points. And when you look at it, and Mallison again with that consistency. Nighthale has been the interesting one. She has more top tens, and I think has doesn't have, and actually they're tied on top fives, but Nighthale has had, I think, a couple more finishes down at the bottom. 39th at Bristol, specifically being the outlier there, where Yappy Malixon has had only a couple of races where you could realistically say she finished poorly, and by finished poorly, that's like 38th. That's like a 30th place, not somewhere around like the bottom five finishers. So it's going to be interesting to see if Malixon ever has that one bad race that allows Nihale to catch up. It's going to be interesting if Nihale has another bad race so that Malixon can pull away. It'll be interesting to see if Mason Parker Motorsports makes any kind of run towards that, as they have Hamster and Alicantes 3 and 4. I guess we should look ahead. We're past the All-Star break now. We're heading towards the playoffs. With this race over, we got 9 races going until the playoffs. Um, I guess really the I guess the real question to ask right now is who are you looking at in terms of favorites um, going into it, or at least people who you could see making the final four and be making the final four with how crazy this race this this series can be sometimes. Mm. Yeah, Abby Little. You know, I think this is gonna be the fun part of these next couple of weeks. You talk about the super speedways. It's going to be somewhat of a figure out who's not what we would call, a road course ringer or a short track expert, but who can really balance themselves out well enough to put it where realistically you could see them going far simply because they could do well at every track. And I mean, barring any explosions, make the final four at Homestead Miami, which again is everyone's goal right now because you get to Miami and it's whoever finishes highest wins out of that Straight Talk Wireless 500. So it could be anyone who makes it. You could have, I mean, upset winner. You could have, I mean, you said Abby Little, someone to watch. She could pull a crazy run if she can sort of prove that the experience. Yep, with that win at Michigan, and I mean her win at Michigan. You have Yukovic with her win at Daytona, albeit it was. I don't want to say this, but it is Daytona. Um, so you can win races there, and you can sneak your way into winning races there. Lily Talberson did well at Pocono. Maybe that's someone else to watch, especially the highest someone we don't usually talk about, especially with Tosima winning a bunch of races, Risha Bebel having a lot of good runs that just sort of end, and then we talk about Carly Bird, of course, having the run up, but Lily Talberson definitely someone who could sneak in the next couple of races. And she won at Pocono, so that's going to be so there's some super speedway prowess on that team that maybe she can move up, and anyone could realistically challenge Malixon and Nihale if they have a great run over the next couple of races. From Rio de Janeiro to Lafitte Ring, Indianapolis. Absolutely. I'm getting word, and this is what I get for not putting together um, the best form of notes for this, but I have been informed that the in-season tournaments are starting soon. Um, there's the talk of the seeding races being the next 4 races, and the bottom 8 drivers who are not going to make this tournament, which as of right now is it is 8 drivers. I wanted to confirm that. Dara Richter, Ozark Motorsports, Tolerone of Royal Racing, will miss Isa Javida of North Star, Mima Verino, MBYW, Gabriella of Team Flurvent will not advance. You have Mani Huandayo in the 21 for Red Racing, Youngway 2 of Golf Racing, and I believe that is the bottom 8. Yes, I did do my counting right. Okay. So, 32 drivers. They're going to be seeded over the next 4 races, which will be De Janeiro, Lafitte Ring, Motegi, and Surrey. And then we have round of 32 at Indianapolis, round of 16 at Iowa, round of 8 at Richmond, round of 4 at Darlington, and final matchup at Pensacola. Really good way for a couple of these teams to earn some money. I know some of them need it. I know some teams would really be happy to get that bonus, especially since they can put it towards running something next year. And I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate because you look at those 8 teams, and realistically, you got a lot of 2-car groups that could have really used the money towards uh, pushing up 4 stuff. But then again, Ozark at MBYW have drivers in the fight. I think technically every team does have at least one driver in there, so there's always a chance for a Cinderella story to really get, just really have a good one. I guess any final thoughts, Ellie? I'm being told we have to send it back to the studio. We have, yeah, yep. A lot of money's about to get passed out. A lot of people about to be fighting for playoffs, and Arena Tosima is officially not the first driver to win back-to-back. Finley Rarickson did that, but I think I think a lot of people are going to count this as 3 races in a row after the All-Star race. So great job for her. Evans Ross Racing has possibly one of the best races a team has ever had, specifically on a road course in AWSCO history. And with that, I will send it from this post-race studio back up to the booth. Echo and Rasha are waiting to close out the broadcast.
Yeah, and a very fun race here from the Daytona Road Course. A great show, 500 kilometers, and it still came right down to the very end. Next week, we will be at Memphis in the Continental Series for the first race of the Chase for the Money tournament. That one will be the first finisher out of those 5 cars that are eligible there will win a cash prize. And at Rio de Janeiro in the Cup Series will be the first of the seeding races for the AWSCO in-season tournament. We hope you enjoy those. We hope you will enjoy this next this final stretch of the AWSCO regular season. On behalf of Eddie, Ellie, Russia, I'm Echo. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you all next time for the AWSCO, for another AWSCO broadcast. All right, have a good night.